As we welcome our listeners to the ICC and ABC as well. We're here at Headingley for England against Scotland on a Saturday night. In Leeds, Alex Hartley alongside me, Henry Moran, and with us also Catherine Sciver-Brunt, a couple of seasoned England internationals and somebody who really is not a seasoned England international. But there we go. It promises to be a brilliant night. Can't wait for play to get underway. And without further ado, let's head to the middle for the toss, shall we? The two captains, clearly there is no place for Nat Sciver-Brunt because of injury. We've discussed that a lot. So Charlie Dean was out there in the middle alongside Catherine Bryce and Anjum Chopra.
I'm joined by the two captains. Charlie Dean, captain of England, standing alongside captain of Scotland with me as well. Alongside the match referee from India international GS Lakshmi. Charlie has the coin.
Heads.
Heads is the call. It's heads.
On the ball, please. Thanks.
Catherine, congratulations. You won the coin toss. What is Scotland going to do and why?
We're going to have a ball first. I think fresh pitch and good. I don't think it'll change much throughout the afternoon.
What's your team news? Is there any change or not?
Pippa Sproul and Hannah Rainey come in, just managing a couple of injuries.
How has Scotland regrouped for this contest?
Yeah, I think it's been good, almost the quick turnaround. You've just got to park it and reset, just remember all the really good things that we did in that game and just try and fix a couple of the mistakes we made.
Have a good game.
Cheers, thank you.
Back in the hot seat, Charlie, of course, had the coin toss gone England's way, what was your decision likely to be?
To be fair, we probably would have had a bat, so pretty pleased. I think it's a belting pitch, so I guess it's whichever side plays the best cricket.
Forced change, of course, that makes changes in the playing 11, but what are they?
Yeah, obviously Nat misses out and Dunks comes in a straight swap there in 3.
How is England adapting to these changing roles, if they need to adapt any? How has the team regrouped for that?
Yeah, I guess we've had some really good series previous to this World Cup, so feel like we're ready. We mixed up that batting order a little bit, so the girls are ready and raring to go. Obviously, Nat's a huge loss for us, but we're ready. We're going to try and do that for her today. And yeah, World Cup cricket is about being the best team on the day, so that's what we're here to do.
Have a good game, Charlie.
Thanks.
So the news from the coin toss is that Scotland has won the toss and they've elected to have a bowl.
Well, our thanks to Anjum Chopra, the two captains out there in the middle. Scotland winning the toss, bowling first. Alex, Catherine, I mean, does that make sense from both sides' point of views, do you think?
I like the fact that they're bowling first. I think it's their best chance of winning. And for England, they'll want to... Charlie Dean said they probably would have batted first anyway. They feel like it's their best chance to get runs on the board and defend it. England's bowling attack is their strength, and obviously without Nat Sciver-Brunt with bat in hand, they are slightly weaker.
Well, on the opposing side, Lister.
Yeah.
And we're going to be missing her at the Rockets as well, obviously.
Yeah.
So let me go through the two teams in their entirety because it is worth just bringing you up to date with some injury issues. So we've got an England lineup with the one change. So Danny Wyatt-Hodge and Amy Jones open once again. Sophia Dunkley comes into the side as a straight swap, as we were hearing, for Nat Sciver-Brunt. Alice Capsey, Heather Knight, Freya Kemp, Danny Gibson, Charlie Dean is the captain, Sophie Eccleston, Lindsay Smith and Lauren Bell. It feels like England know what their makeup of their side is and they're very happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that Sophia Dunkley comes in and is going to go at 3 in Nat's place so that Nat can just slot back in for Sophia Dunkley if and when she's fit again makes total sense. You know, there's no point putting Dunkley back at the top of the order and messing with Amy Jones. Danny Wyatt and Amy Jones have had a lovely partnership at the top so far. I know it's only been a couple of games. You don't want to be disturbing that. So when somebody gets injured, just a straight swap 1 for 1 just makes sense. You're not disturbing the rest of the team.
Yeah, definitely. And there's no need to... I mean, you can't bring anyone into the team, obviously. You can only do that into the squad, if Nat is missing the rest of the tournament. So, yeah, I like what they're doing. And, it almost gives Sophia a game that could potentially be another 2, 3, 4, because Nat might never make it back. So, yeah,
well, what can you tell us?
exposure.
What's the latest?
So she's doing all sorts of weird stuff.
Rehab.
So she's spending a couple of hours a day in a magnetic healing machine. Obviously targets muscle pain, reduces swelling, promotes cellular repair. That's revolutionary stuff that as we've never actually used on players before, I don't think. So she's doing that. She's been in hyperbaric chambers. I've not seen much of her, to be honest, because she's just been off doing everything possible. If this is only going to help her 5, 6, 7, 8%, she's doing what she needs to do. So she's really annoyed, frustrated, obviously wants to just play, but you got to be smart. There's a time to push it and a time to restrain, and that's what we're doing here.
But at the moment, there's no suggestion that it's going to get worse.
No, I think that the plan now is just keep hammering all this technology. Do your rehab, see the soft tissue experts, all that. Get to another MRI, I imagine, just to see how it's progressed, and they'll know from that next MRI what the next step is, whether it is.
Yeah, and that'll be whenever. That'll be.
Well, I'm guessing as well.
I mean,
it
might not even be a semi-final, you know. Like, it could be that if they do get to the semis, that they have to do that without a 2, and it's actually a final, because there is a decent gap there, isn't there? So.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we'll wait and see. England lining up down below us, as are Scotland. Our 2 umpires are ready to wander out as well. And we're not far away from a start here. This is a big night. It does feel different. Both sides, when I've spoken to them this week, Alex, have said, it is different. It's England against Scotland. There's something a bit unusual about it.
It feels one of the bigger games in this group, doesn't it? And for me, it is, because the West Indies are what looks like going to be the next team to qualify with England. But Scotland could cause a couple of upsets. New Zealand have obviously, they lost a thriller yesterday to Ireland, where Ireland probably should have got over the line. So, yeah, this could be a game for Scotland. And if Scotland beat England, they really do have a chance of going through to that semi-final. And I think they'll be kicking themselves for that game they lost against the West Indies, where they got agonisingly close. They had a brilliant partnership at the top and then sort of fell away. The Bryce sisters, I think, will blame themselves for that loss. It wasn't necessarily their fault, but once they get runs and they get in, they're so hard to get out. So yeah, great, should be a great game. And look, we all love an upset. I guess as England fans, we're just hoping it's not today.
I don't. I hate an upset. I've got so many mates on both of these that I just feel so stressed about it. I just want it to be a great game, but England win, obviously. But I think it'll be a great day, no matter what. I just hope they're not too disheartened, the Scottish from the other day.
Indeed, and I sense that they're going to be pretty, I would have thought, pretty up for this. They're going to be pretty aggressive, they're going to be pretty up for it, and I think they're going to be seeing this as a little bit of a final, probably. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, you can't not get up for this fixture. Like, Headingley's brilliant. These guys don't get to play in front of thousands of people and be on Sky or whichever broadcaster, against millions of people. They don't get to have this sense of occasion and sing their anthems in such a way, that makes them feel proud. And they've got a team here that is a solid team that can compete against anyone. So I think they should really take it in and cherish these moments, because they're very rare.
I agree with you, and it's exciting. Really is exciting. We're going to have Victoria Polly, part of our team today, as well as the host of talented cricketers we have alongside me at the moment. We'll also have Phoebe Graham as well. So there's a whole multitude of brilliant cricketers, brilliant voices, and a brilliant game in front of us. Here come the anthems for the 2 sides.
Still
Well, that really was spine-tingling, and you could see it meant a lot, particularly to the Scotland team, who have waited a long time for this opportunity. Frankly, they wait a long time for many opportunities. There was a phase last year where they didn't have a single fixture in the diary, which was frankly outrageous. But they're here, and they're taking part in a huge evening's worth of cricket. We can't wait for it. We really can't, because here on Test Match Special, 5 Sports Extra, and across the BBC and around the world with the ICC, it is England against Scotland, a fixture we're so used to from the Calcutta Cup, from great rivalries in football and in rugby and all of that history. Cricket seldom gets a look in. Tonight it does, in front of this big crowd at Headingley, and it is a big crowd. They've turned out in force. And Alex Hartley alongside me. Alongside her is Catherine Sciver-Brunt, who will be leaving us in just a moment. But Catherine, before you do, what are you expecting from England's approach at the top of the order with the bat?
I'm expecting some fireworks, to be fair. I think they are going to be relishing having to play at Headingley. Obviously, we know it can be a good batting surface. We are in the very middle, so boundary sizes don't come into this, but it is a long square from end to end, so you know the ball is also going to be racing away, especially down the hill. So I think they want to tuck in. I think if you get out early here, you are missing out. So I'm hoping that pitch, from what it looks like from here, I mean that's a big statement, but it looks pretty dead, pretty flat, doesn't look too used, so I think they'll make good use of this.
Before we get going, just how good is Scotland's national anthem?
Oh, it's a
I
belter,
absolutely
isn't it?
love it.
Oh my! It's one of the
And
best
the
things I've
a cappella
heard.
bit.
Yeah, that's
Just
a
sing your hearts out.
One of the girls is in the team is in the choir that sings that bit.
Oh, who's that?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask me that, and I don't know.
Get back to you on that one.
I'll get back to you on that one. Yeah,
Well, that is ace. I
know.
loved it.
So yeah, so one of the 15 is actually in the choir that sang the a cappella bit.
I think
of
we'll get her up here for just a
national
little
A little sing-song.
run out. Yeah, let's get her up here.
Right, Catherine, thank you very much for the time being. Catherine Sciver-Brunt, part of our team here this evening, and Alex Hartley, as we see Scotland run to the fields, past to various camera operators. This will be a big, big moment for them. How will they be feeling, do you think?
Nervous. I think both teams will be feeling nervous because this is the game, isn't it? This is as close as Scotland will get to a home World Cup. They've got thousands of fans that have travelled down. We know full well they had loads of them here just 2 days ago. It's the weekend now. There's going to be even more of them here. I think it's a huge occasion for both teams. England will obviously see this as it could be a bit of a banana skin game for
Banana
Same
them. They don't, really,
they don't want to slip up against Scotland. They should beat them. However, Scotland are a very strong side. Most of these girls play here in England and they play domestic cricket, which means everybody will know each other very well. So we're probably going to see for the first time spin starting, because both the England girls out in the middle are weaker against spin, but we've not seen that so far in this World Cup.
Yeah, teams have been eager to bowl seam at the top order, which is playing to their strength, I would have said.
Exactly, and I think actually with the fact that Catherine Bryce, Kirsty Gordon have played so much against Amy Jones and Danny Wyatt, Kirsty Gordon's probably put her hand up and gone, hang on a minute, I should or could be bowling this first over. Indeed.
So, she'll have a little bit more, I suppose, fire in the belly with her time playing for England in a T20 World Cup, no least in 2018.
Must have been a strange feeling for her. Yeah.
But she now represents Scotland, and it's part of a lineup that sees Darcy Carter and Catherine Fraser, who got a brilliant start the other night against West Indies. Then it's the Bryce sisters, captain Catherine, keeper Sarah, Chloe McCall, Pippa Sproul comes into the side, Priyanaz Chatterjee, Hannah Rainey also in, Kirsty Gordon, Chloe Abel and Gabriella Fontenla, as we see Elsa Lister and Rachel Slater out of the side.
Yeah, we saw Elsa Lister actually down on the field in a moon boot, which isn't a good sign.
No. Bit of a worry. So, while we wait for the clock to reach its required half past, which I make to be a minute ago, we're pretty much ready to go.
I'm going to really struggle if you make me laugh today, Henry.
Why?
I've got a side strain. I've strained my side.
Ow, because was I being particularly funny the other night?
I did it this morning.
Ow.
I brushed my tongue a bit too hard when I was brushing my teeth and I retched, and I've hurt myself.
You're the only person. If I was to be told that had happened to someone I know, I would need one guess.
Yeah, so I got his head really sore.
Are you all right?
It hurts when I breathe and it definitely hurts when I laugh, but you know me, I'm such a happy person. Could be a long day.
Could be a long day. Mainly for me. So Kirsty Gordon from the far end of the ground. Left arm round is the cry.
Now there's people in front of the sight screen.
Why is it they always decide and then's the moment to go for a walk?
Struggling with
in
the
a very
camera.
bright t-shirt.
There's two of them trying to move that camera down the far
They're
end.
quite heavy, those cameras and all.
I think the wheels might have broken on it.
Yeah, the wheels have come off already. Okay, are we ready? Yeah, go on, Amy, you tell them.
That was Dan.
What was it? Oh,
Other than strike. Tell them to sit down so we can start.
cricket is so silly. Here we go. Let's play. That's the cry. Kirsty Gordon in the sunglasses, left arm spin to the right-handed figure of Amy Jones, who immediately drives in the air, and she's caught. First ball. Caught at cover, and England are 0 for 1 after the very first ball of the game.
And that is exactly why Kirsty Gordon has opened the bowling for Scotland. We haven't seen it throughout this tournament, but both these opening batters not great against spin first up. Amy Jones just pushing at that ball. It's full from Gordon. It's not the best deliveries to start your spell, but Jones pushing the ball towards extra cover in the air, and a great catch from McCall.
Diving forward, and Amy Jones has to go. She is marched off furious at herself. I mean, she wasn't really looking to try and do either one thing nor the other. She tried to punch through the covers and then decided, no, that wasn't quite on. And then thought, well, I'll probably just retract the stroke a little bit. No, that's not quite on. Then all of a sudden you're on your way back. So it is a far from ideal start. I think that is, to put it very, very mildly. But what a start for Ireland, for Scotland, forgive me. Ireland on the mind in front of me on my notes. But Scotland, what celebrations.
That was really wholesome to see, actually, wasn't it?
Well, look, they're not here to mess about, this Scotland team. Snap towards cover. The score, England, none for one. They've lost a wicket to the very first ball of the game. Amy Jones, having seen England elect to have, or put into bat, I should say, lost a wicket to Kirsty Gordon, of all stories, the player that used to play for England. And Jones chipping the ball to cover, and 3 balls gone in the innings. England 0 for 1, and so we have a side that is unquestionably very, very up for this in Scotland. And here comes Gordon again, dropped into the offside by Sophia Dunkley, who plays instead of Nat Sciver-Brunt today, the England skipper, out with an injury to her calf. And what a good start this has been from Kirsty Gordon. Left arm spinner. She's bowling from the Howard stand end, the football stand. She moves in again. Dunkley deep in the crease. We'll just work that off the hips for the first run of the England innings. Alex Hartley's alongside me. And Alex, goodness me, quite the start.
Great start. Great start for Scotland. That previous ball from Kirsty Gordon, slightly more back of a length, but it was worked nicely from Dunkley from outside off into square leg, where there was no fielder. So if you're at backward point here, Henners, you've got to be on it, because Danny Wyatt-Hodge loves to a little dink and run to get off the mark.
1 for 1 the score.
But Kirsty will want her to hit to that mid-wicket region.
She rocks back, slaps into the offside. There won't be a run there. There's a misfield, but England wise not to run from it. And the first over comes to an end with just 1 from it. Brilliant crowd in. And you were saying as you walked around the ground how lovely it was that, you know, wandering around, lots of people stopping you, wanting a chat, and it's, you know, one of those things where it feels like a huge occasion.
I always feel like a bit of a fraud when that happens, to be honest, Henners, because they're all coming to watch England women, and I don't know. I like it. It's lovely. I love it when people stop and ask for photos and things, but I always think, me? Are you sure?
Yes, you're a World Cup winner. You were a player of the tournament.
Yeah, but these kids that are asking have no idea. It's their parents going, go and have a picture.
You're not that old, Annie.
I am.
You're not.
Most of the kids weren't even born.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, 9 years ago now.
Exactly.
Yeah, good point. They must know you from the telly.
Yeah,
There you
from
go.
the podcast.
Gabriella Fontenla, big moment for the 18-year-old, just her 6th T20 international. She's only got 1 wicket in that time, but a big prospect for this Scotland side. Tall figure and bowling to somebody who'll be feeling a bit of pressure in Sophia Dunkley, giving her opportunity in place of Siva Brunt. And the first ball is a good delivery, which is just giving a little bit of shape away from Dunkley, and she digs it out to short third for 1. 2 for 1 the score.
Yeah, she might have only picked up 1 wicket, Fontella, but she's got a lovely economy. Just over 6 runs per over for her. So she's been economical, even in the power play. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, you can get a bowler that can do that. No place for Rachel Slater today through injury, and that's a big loss. So.
Yeah, huge.
But a good start for Scotland. Wicket to the very first ball of the game. Scratching like a chicken at the crease is Wyatt Hodge. And in comes Tenler again. Full delivery. That's a lovely shape on the ball. Dug out again into the offside. And a single will be taken. It's not unlike Test match bowling, that, Al.
Yeah, lovely shape away from the right-hander, just starting the ball on off stump, swinging away. She's got the field set for it as well with a deep backward point. It's probably going to go slightly finer now to Sophia Dunkley. She's also got a deep square leg.
Here is Tenler at the end of her mark. We've got a shadow or two lengthening out there as we see Dunkley getting in a bit of a tangle. But just in the end deciding it's probably not worth the risk. And I think that is a sensible decision. She's on 2.
Yeah, a little bit of a yes-no maybe there from Sophia Dunkley, who just lets the ball come to her, plays it late into the offside.
Well, she's no Paula Radcliffe. Not a great runner. This delivery is swung at hard, but missed. It goes through to the keeper.
It's a lovely delivery. Just looks like it beats Sophia Dunkley for a little bit of pace there. Swinging the ball away. Sophia Dunkley looking to hit the ball into the leg side. Just a little shimmy down the pitch. Might have just stayed low.
This is really, really good as a start. 3 for 1 is the England score after 10 deliveries. Fontenla again, right arm over. And Dunkley does get bat on it this time, helping it round the corner towards backward square leg for a couple of runs. Crowd applaud the efforts, most in their shirt sleeves with this warm day. It's going to get very hot next couple of days, Al.
Is it?
Yeah, 33 degrees or something.
Oh, perfect.
Well, not everyone likes the hot weather.
I've never met anybody that doesn't like warm weather.
Well, not everyone. Some people find it a bit much. Here is Fontenla. Bowling to Dunkley, who's hitting the ball away. Square on the offside. Not really timing it, and it'll be stopped in the covers. Over comes to an end. 5 for 1 after 2. And this has been very much Scotland's start, having won the toss and electing to have a bowl.
It really has. Brilliant start for Scotland. Only 4 runs coming off that over. I wouldn't bowl Kirsty Gordon again now. I think it's the one and done for me. I like it when...
The plan worked.
The plan worked. Now go back to your original opening bowler, Catherine Bryce, swing the ball in. And for me, Danny Wyatt Hodge can be quite vulnerable to that ball swinging in because she loves to play through the offside. And we saw against India, she actually tried to cut a ball off the stumps and got bowled early on in her first game back.
So yeah, there is potential vulnerability, and they will have been working on their matchups and everything else. And we aren't going to see Kirsty Gordon bowl a second over. We're going to see Catherine Bryce, the Scotland captain, as here at Headingley on a Saturday evening. England are 5 for 1 after 2 overs. Bryce in, keeper up to the stumps. Ooh, it does come back in, and Wyatt Hodge has to jam that bat down.
That's a hooper.
Cry of yes, Catherine, from behind the stumps from sister Sarah. It's the two it's a sister act out there. Next delivery is Wyatt Hodge working the ball into the onside. She'll get a single there. I think she'll be quite relieved to get off strike because she does like to come out of her ground as well to try and heave away. So as the prospect of the keeper, who's a good keeper as well, behind the stumps, ready to whip the bails off should she miss, then that will certainly be playing on her mind. Dunkley on strike. Here is Bryce, bowling wicket to wicket, and not much that Dunkley can do with that.
Scotland have the highest percentage in the tournament of good line and length bowling.
Yeah, discipline.
Better of anybody else, yeah.
That is good research, that.
It's just off the top of my head, that, Henry.
Well, no, don't say that, because that makes me not believe it. But,
No, it's true.
oh, well, there you go.
No, it's...
Dunkley. Oh, yeah! Oh, it's almost a fabulous catch. It went sailing to the left of Priyanaz Chatterjee at short fine leg, and she gets the high fives of teammates because she leapt. And it was there for a second, in, out, and eventually down.
Oh, I tell you what, this is nearly the catch of the tournament. For a fielder at short fine, you never expected to take ones like this. Full length dive, in the left hand, it sticks, and then when she hits the floor, it falls out.
Very close. Next delivery will be clipped into the leg side by Wyatt Hodge. England dealing only in singles at the moment. They're going at a run rate of 2.6. Scotland winning the toss, electing to field and winning the battle at the moment. 2.5. Run down the wicket is the cry from the back of the commentary box from Catherine Siver-Brunt. Here is the next delivery. Dunkley goes hard at that. Into the leg side it goes, sailing away for 6. I'm pretty sure that's hit the boundary on the full. We'll have a look. But it was a mighty blow over wide, long on. And England get their first boundary, be it 4, be it 6. It's the first one. 14 for 1, and 6 is signalled. 3 overs gone.
Good use of her feet there from Sophia Dunkley. Catherine in the back of the box, absolutely right. Come down the wicket, try and navigate that swing. You know it's going to come into you. You know if you get in the right line, you've got a little bit of a free hit into the mid-wicket region, and a lovely slog sweep from Dunkley to finish the over. And perfect, actually. You could say it just slotted straight onto the...
It's lovely, wasn't it? Just a little
sponge.
It was like a perfect landing, as if you were the ball. You'd think, I want to choose somewhere that'll be nice and cosy to land on. Oh, that's ideal. Thunk. So, Fontena's going to continue. I'm not surprised as well. She had a beautiful first over. Running in now, past the umpire, and that's angled away by Wyatt Hodge. Behind square on the offside. They'll turn for a second. That is not available. An email in if you want to join the conversation, tms@bbc.co.uk. Simon, dear Henry and Alex, I hate hot weather. I'm carving. He's a wood carver. Simon.
Does that... I wonder if the hot weather makes the wood sweat. Or if Simon just... Swell, it swells, doesn't it?
Well, it swells, but does it sweat?
Well, if there's moisture in the air, I don't know.
Smashed away over the offside. That's going to bring 4 runs. An aggressive shot from Wyatt Hodge and from Dunkley, forgive me. And it's the sort of shot that just suggests that there might be a little bit more comfort out there for England now, and they're trusting this surface a little bit more. 19 for 1.
Or maybe Simon just hates hot weather, which, you know, each to their own.
Well, we'll see what Simon says. You are literally holding your side.
Honestly, it's so sore.
You poor thing.
Don't aggressively brush your teeth, kids. And I call you clumsy.
I know. Full delivery, which is nicely defended, but it's a very good ball again. Fontana looks a real prospect, the 18-year-old, I must say.
She gets the ball to swing late, which is a real skill. Got a little bit of pace behind her as well.
Yeah. Nice repeatable action. All those things that coaches look for. Mesmerised by the picture Simon sent us. Beautiful. Here we go. Fontana bowling a short ball which is clubbed away into the leg side. It was too short, and it goes out towards the western terrace, greeted by spectators that wave those purple 4 signs they were handed as they walked in, almost waving the ball towards them. And the shorter ball, well, it was neither one thing nor the other, really. wasn't short enough to be threatening. It certainly wasn't full enough to put any doubt in the mind of Dunkley that she'd wait for it and give it any sort of respect. It was given the treatment. 9 from the over already. England 23 for 1.
It's not pretty, but it was effective from Dunkley. Big old heave.
Dunkley waits. And that's not a great ball again, but it might just be stopped. No, it won't, because it's gone so quickly. McCall can't stop it. Whipped off the pads by Dunkley, out towards backward square leg. And that scoreboard that over the years has heralded many fabulous innings, will it do so again tonight? It reads at the moment, Dunkley 23 and England 27 for 1.
Yeah, the partnership England needed after losing Jones' first ball of the game. Sophia Dunkley as well with a point to prove. Found herself out of this side. On the bench, no batter or no player wants to be on the bench at a home World Cup.
No. I want to ask you about that after the next ball. This is dropped into the offside, and they'll have to be quite quick, but this is probably, if not always the most certain duo of running, probably the quickest. 28 for 1, 4 overs gone, the wicket that fell, first ball, Amy Jones. In that 2017 squad, obviously you were playing matches, but for those that weren't, I'm thinking, you know, Beth Langston, Georgia Elwes, Danny White-Hodge in and out of the side. It must have been quite an odd experience, I suppose, because you're in it, but you're not necessarily feeling quite as in it.
Yeah, but you know you've got to be ready, because at any stage, you know, somebody could go down injured, so you've got to be ready. And we chopped and changed that team a little bit. It was more the batters than the bowlers. You know, Danny Hazel, Laura Marsh and me sort of swapped around a little bit when it came to bowlers. The seamers were pretty much nailed on. But you know that you've got to be ready to play.
This is shovelled in the air over the field by Dunkley, as Bryce's second over begins with a boundary to England, who have seen that run rate leap up to 7.7, as that was just helped over fine leg and down to the ropes for 4 more. She's managing to clear all sorts of parts of the ground. It's hard to set a field at the moment.
But I know there was at Taunton against Sri Lanka, and I was just more gutted for my mum and dad, who don't really like cricket all that much. And they'd travelled all the way to Taunton because I told them I was playing.
Dug out into the onside, stopped at mid-wicket, no run.
And then they were like, are you sure you're playing?
Had you been told you were playing?
Yeah, I'd been told I was playing, and
right.
a last-minute change, which happens. And then I had to go find them, and I was like, I'm not playing. And my dad turned around to my mum and said, well, if we set off home now, having just got there, we'll make the 3 o'clock kick-off. So they got in the car and went.
Went to watch football.
Yeah.
Outside the off-stump, Dunkley's looking for a run towards short third, and she'll get it. Russ in Godalming, anything over 25 degrees causes health problems. Deeply unpleasant as far as I'm concerned. But I do seem to understand some folk seem to enjoy being a hot, sweaty mess.
No, there's nothing better than sitting watching cricket in the sunshine rather than in your coat.
Well, it depends what you're doing, doesn't it?
Yeah, if you're like a labourer, I can understand why you wouldn't want it to be 30 degrees.
Next ball from over the wicket is hit away without perfect timing by White-Hodge. It'll seemingly pick up pace across some of those used pitches out towards the Western Terrace, but a good bit of work out there by the fielder. Flicking the ball back will prevent anything more than 3. I mean, 3 is a reasonable return, but it's not quite the boundary that White-Hodge was chasing. 36 for 1. And they look a lot more comfortable than they did a couple of overs ago now, Alex.
Yeah,
This England duo.
Motoring now, these two. Well,
Bryce to Dunkley, who with a lot of bottom hand will clip the ball towards mid-wicket, where a fumble will allow a single that probably shouldn't have been there, and it's Sproul that's fumbled.
I say motoring these two. It's Sophia Dunkley actually out there doing most of the damage.
This was motoring. She's very much on the motorbike, and Danny White-Hodge is in the little sidecar thing.
I've always wanted to go in the sidecar.
She tries to accelerate herself, but only finds mid-wicket, and the over comes to an end. 5 gone. I am going to make way for Victoria Polly, Alex, and you're going to tell me what you make of the match situation. 37 for 1 after 5.
Yeah, look, I think if you'd have offered Scotland 37 for 1 after 5, they'd have taken it. I think they probably would have feel at this minute quite frustrated in the fact that they've allowed Dunkley to motor, but it's the power play. So, you know, once one batter's in and playing their shots, it can happen. It's just finding a way of now slowing her down. Obviously out of the power play, hopefully for Scotland and a Scottish point of view. You bring on Kirsty Gordon, she'll do what she just did in that first over, break the partnership. But for now, it's going to be Fraser.
Yeah, 1 over of the power play to go then, and it will be Catherine Fraser to bowl it. England finding their groove after the wicket on the first ball of Amy Jones, hitting straight into the covers where Megan McCall held on. So it's the spin of Catherine Fraser. She's in, and Dunkley's gone over the top of the offside. It is going to plug, so they'll have to run them, although now it is racing as the fielder gets there. No, the ball wins. Boundary from the first ball of the over. Dunkley gets another boundary. She's looked good so far.
Yeah, it was Chloe Abel there in the deep. Almost like a slow motion dive out to the deep, that wasn't it, from her. Dunkley trying to go more over extra cover, thick outside edge, it goes over cover. And Abel actually got there, but just the old lettuce leaf finger couldn't quite stop the ball.
She was inches away. 41 for 1. Dunkley's on to 34. As Fraser is in. This time she clips it into the leg side. To be fielded at deep mid-wicket for a single. Neil's been in touch on the emails. Says, I'm a Yorkshire member, sat in the East Stand, and I never thought I'd see a crowd like this at Headingley for a women's game. Brilliant to see, isn't it? Lots of the youngsters as well, as you were mentioning, Alex.
Hopefully this now just becomes the norm. Should be, shouldn't it?
Absolutely. Hopefully they'll be entertained tonight. As Fraser is in, and this one is behind to Bryce with the gloves on. Many of these players will be familiar to each other. So many of the Scottish players play domestically here in England. As Fraser is in, that one is turned leg side, and they'll come through for a single. 43 for 1 now. Wyatt Hodge has moved on to 7, but it's Dunkley who's motoring along on 35. And he's on strike for England in that red kit with the blue sleeves. Coming forward to meet this one. And that's beautifully driven through the offside. Wide of the fielder at mid-off. Away for 4 runs.
Brilliant from Dunkley. Yeah, such a good shot. Using her feet, creating a little bit of room to hit the ball through the offside where all the fielders are, and she's gone through extra cover and mid-off perfectly there, has Sophia Dunkley. Scotland have really got to try and slow her down here. Can they get her off strike?
How will Catherine respond with the Fraser respond with the ball, Eva, as that's dabbed away down towards third. The chase is on once again. Oh, and there's a misfield on the boundary edge. Well, the fielder got to it again. Who's that running back with a wry smile on her face, trying to get to the ball? Back-to-back 4s for England. Dunkley on to 43. England 51 for 1.
Yeah, it was Hannah Rainey who's been called into this squad because of an injury. And she's just chasing the ball down the hill and loses her footing and ends up in a bit of a heap.
So England end the power play 51 for 1, and after a wobbly start, Alex, they've recovered well.
Yeah, they really have. Sophia Dunkley doing most of the damage, as we were saying. Wyatt Hodge can't quite get the ball away, but if she can just keep getting Dunkley on strike, that's absolutely doing her job. She's 43 off 25 is Sophia Dunkley, which you love to see because she found herself on the bench at the start of this World Cup, and she's only come in for this game because Nat Siver-Brunt is injured, and missing a couple of games is Siver-Brunt. So Dunkley has an opportunity at 3, and she's taken that.
Well, the players are gathering. I know you love this bit, Alex, for the drinks break. What do you think the conversations will be in that Scotland huddle?
I think now it's out at the power play. Bring Kirsty Gordon into the attack and just be patient. You know that Sophia Dunkley, yes, she was playing all around the ground and she's been brilliant, but she does bring opportunity as well, and she will make a mistake. She's obviously been dropped at short fine as well. So everybody just be ready, be clinical, and keep the stumps in play.
And the games already today. Earlier on, Australia beat the Netherlands by 98 runs. And then in the second of the games in that double header, Bangladesh beating Pakistan by 23 runs. Here, England and Scotland in action at Headingley, where we've still got a bit of blue sky around. But starting to get a little bit darker as the crowds watch on and the players make their way back into the field. Danny Wyatt Hodge and Sophia Dunkley having a little chat as they go.
Yeah, we were talking earlier on how Scotland have been so clinical with their lines and lengths throughout this World Cup and how they've got the best percentage of what the ICC class as good lines and good lengths. But they've just bowled a little bit wide to Sophia Dunkley today, and it also feeds into Wyatt Hodges' strength as well, wide outside the off stump.
Some lovely bowling from Gabriella Fontella in those first couple of overs. Real promising talent for Scotland. And I think we're just about ready to get back underway. England 51 for 1 as we approach 7 o'clock on a Saturday evening here in Leeds. Kirsty Gordon, who took that wicket in the first over, the first ball, in fact, of Amy Jones, is going to return to the attack.
I can't work out. She's got a jumper on that's just absolutely massive for her, Gordon.
I don't know that you need it out there.
No, that's what I was thinking.
Moving the field around. Tap of the bat from Wyatt Hodge. Shuffling use of the feet as she hit this straight to the fielder. She has. She's clipped that one to mid-on. Danny Wyatt Hodge stands in the middle of the wicket in disbelief because Kirsty Gordon has struck again for Scotland. England lose a second wicket. They are 51 for 2.
Well, Wyatt Hodges stood there in disbelief because this was an absolute rancid delivery from Kirsty Gordon. There is no way she's bowled that short on purpose. It's a drag down, and Wyatt Hodges tried to hit it into the onside and hit it to Catherine Bryce, the skipper, who takes a good catch. She's furious with herself, is Wyatt Hodge. Kirsty Gordon, well, she's got a lot of confidence, but she gets away with that one.
7 from 11 for Danny Wyatt Hodge as she trudges off the pitch. And it brings Alice Capsey to the crease. She was looking to take that one on, use of the feet from Wyatt Hodge, but she slapped that straight into the hands of the Scotland captain. And Kirsty Gordon is enjoying this match so far.
I can't wait to ask her if she's bowled that short on purpose. You watch how someone bowls a ball and you're like, ooh, that one could get hit anywhere.
Well, they all go down as wickets, don't they?
Exactly.
That's what she'll say, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Alice Capsey waits as Gordon is in on the back foot, punching through the offside. Straight to the fielder in the deep. They'll come through for just a single. She gets off the mark, does Alice Capsey. England on to 52 for 2.
Just watching that replay of the wicket again. Danny Wyatt Hodge stands in the middle and says, "You're joking."
Well, Sophia Dunkley on 43 is on the back foot and playing into the offside, straight to the fielder in the covers for no run on this occasion. And it just felt like at that point England were just finding their fluidity, having lost that early wicket. They were rebuilding. Sophia Dunkley was the player who was scoring quickly. As this time she whips that one into the leg side. Is it going to be a catch? It's definitely a good stop. Whether that had carried as they come back for 2 on the square leg boundary. It was in the air for a long time. 2 runs to the score. Dunkley onto 45, England 54 for 2.
There's Catherine Fraser out there in the deep, nearly with another specky catch for Scotland. It's an unbelievable effort, deep mid-wicket.
Gordon coming around the wicket, and that is straight to point, but it is a crowd catch. Everyone momentarily getting a bit excited. And England can't afford really to lose a 3rd wicket.
It should have been out. That was a bad drop.
It was juggled at that point as Dunkley just shuffles forward again and plays this into a gap on the leg side where they can take a single. 55 for 2. And at the end of the over, it's another wicket for Kirsty Gordon, 55 for 2. And she's taken both of the England wickets so far. Amy Jones going for naught, first ball. She was caught in the covers, and then Danny Wyatt Hodge Hoiking one to mid-on and was out. So Scotland will be pleased with their return so far. We'll say see you in a bit to Alex Hartley, and Phoebe Graham is alongside us.
That drop could be really costly for Scotland. They've been super tidy in the field and with ball in hand. But the way Dunkley's fired and on 46 not out, you'd like to see that catch taken at point. Kirsty Gordon's reaction said it all. Absolutely spewing she was.
Well, Hannah Rainey is into the attack for Scotland. And she is into Dunkley, who's played this one uppishly towards mid-off, who fields for no run.
I think after seeing Scotland's reaction to the defeat against West Indies on Wednesday night, it's so good to see them coming out with positive intent. They've had high energy in the field. It's almost half and half in the crowd, Scotland and England fans.
And Rainey begins the run-up away from us and into Dunkley for the delivery, which is dug out into the leg side. They come through for a single. They want the second, and Dunkley gets home, I think, as the ball comes in.
It's definitely worth a look upstairs.
They were desperate to come back for the two, weren't they?
Yeah, they make decisions quickly now to the third umpires. Looks like it's not out.
Yeah, Dunkley gets home.
Good running between these two.
57 for two. So Hannah Rainey, who comes into the Scotland side for this game, but was actually an injury replacement in the squad. Wasn't initially part of it, but that fractured hand injury for Abtahar Maqsood. And Rainey was brought in as the replacement, and she comes over the wicket again on the toes of Dunkley. Just a single this time, and Dunkley will be on the non-strikers end on 49. England 58 for two.
Hannah Rainey's almost always included in the Scotland squads as well, but she's been suffering with injuries this year herself, so I think she'll be fortunate to be included, and with Rachel Slater being out, gives her a great opportunity to come in here. It's her home ground. She plays for Yorkshire, so very familiar with the pitch.
There's a couple of the Scotland players, isn't there, who do or have turned out for Yorkshire. As Rainey is in, shorter ball this time. It's clipped towards long leg by Capsey, and it's misfielded through for four. And Chatterjee just tips her head back in frustration because there were two fielders getting round to the ball. It looked quite a comfortable stop, really, but in the end, just misjudged it as it bounces along the outfield. 62 for two.
Yeah, Hannah Rainey went for the short ball, didn't quite get up. And it was a simple piece of fielding that she just rolled the ball over the line.
Almost took a wonder catch earlier on in the innings as Rainey is in to Capsey. Good delivery through to Sarah Bryce behind the stumps for no run.
She's got some nice pace about her as Hannah Rainey, and that one beats Capsey for pace. She's having a smile to her captain, Catherine Bryce. Any bowler likes to see that when you beat the outside edge. Gets a seam right behind it. The ball just moves away from the right-handed Alice Capsey,
who's waiting, and this time is clipping into a gap at mid-wicket. Comes through for the single. Has to duck out of the way as the throw comes back in. And at the end of the 8th over, England are 63 for two. And while Scotland will be pleased with the 2 wickets they've taken, that of Amy Jones without scoring and Danny White-Hodge for 7, Kirsty Gordon would have been thinking she could have had a third with that drop catch at point.
She will indeed. There's been a couple of chances, 2 exceptionally tricky ones, one at short, fine, diving to her left, Catherine Fraser in the deep in mid-wicket, and both did well to stop them. But it was a regulation catch at point, and they're the ones that really hurt you as a team. It drops the energy in the field. We've seen a misfield since then as well. So Scotland just need to stay in the game here.
I think we've seen through this tournament how important the discipline in the field can be as Priyanath Chatterjee comes into the attack. Experience of her. 81 matches. Born in Dundee, another who's plays domestic cricket in England. And she comes over the wicket to Capsey, just dabs that one into the offside, into a gap, and Chatterjee comes across to almost do the fielding herself as they come through for a single.
Yeah, Chatterjee making her 150th cap for Scotland today across all formats. So there was a lovely presentation going on at the start of the game. I think it was her mother, father and brother. Looked like her brother maybe did a speech.
Had a notebook. It must have all been written down.
Initially, I thought it was a motivational talk to get them up and about after that West Indies defeat. A lovely moment for her.
Just lost her run up. As she'll turn back on her mark, and Dunkley, who's on 49, will just come away from the crease. Bat on shoulder, pacing back and forth. England 64 for 2. Chatterjee is on the way in to Dunkley, uses the width of that one to play it through the offside. It will be a single and it will be 50 for Sophia Dunkley. She had to come in the second ball of the innings, and you can see the elation of reaching her half century. England 65 for 2, and Sophia Dunkley in at number 3 for England has made 50.
Outstanding knock from Sophia Dunkley, really changed the momentum of the power play. They hadn't scored a boundary till the 30 over until she came in.
This time is width on this one for Capsey, and she's going to find the gap in the offside for 4. That one races away. She's moved on to 11, England 69 for 2.
Dunkley, of course, dropped on 46 off the bowling of Kirsty Gordon, which could prove very costly now. But love the fact that Sophia Dunkley's taken her opportunity, coming in at 3 for Nat Siva-Brunt, who's nursing a calf injury, who hopefully will be back in a few games' time.
Chatterjee into Capsey. And that one is turned between deep mid-wicket. Oh, there's another misfield. Oh, that's messy from Scotland. And that's what the third we've seen now. Back-to-back boundaries for England, 63 for 2. And is that Carter there, who just went for the one-handed pickup. It runs underneath the hand and away for 4 runs.
Very nonchalant from Darcy Carter, who is an excellent fielder, but just went one-handed there. Not needed really for Scotland.
Chatterjee bowls to Capsey, clips that one towards deep mid-wicket. It's fielded cleanly on that occasion. Comes through for the single. She moves on to 16, England 74 for 2.
Big way from the crowd already. They're getting leery. But a long barrier there from Catherine Fraser, just to make sure.
We had the email earlier from Neil Phoebe, who's a member here and is in the crowd, and is just pleased to see how many fans there are out on a Saturday night for this Women's T20 World Cup match, as that's played uppishly towards the long-on boundary. It's well fielded just inside, as they'll come back for a couple of runs. Applause for that save on the line. 76 for 2 from 9.
Great stop in the deep there from Darcy Carter. That's exactly what she's capable of in the field. Running round to her left, full stretch dive, and prevents the ball going for 4. Makes up for the previous ball that went to her, that she went nonchalant with one hand, and the ball ran away to the ropes.
Well, the run rate now for England is up to 8.44. And we'll get the various projected scores with the current run rate, which would be 169 for England, after Scotland won the toss and elected to bowl first. Catherine Fraser is back into the attack with a spin. Comes off the bottom edge of the bat of Capsey. Definitely wants the single, and that will be all it is for England off that first delivery of the 10th over, 77 for 2.
I commentated the Roses match here, Yorkshire-Lancashire, and I think it's about a similar crowd to what they got for that game. So that just gives an indication of how many fans are in tonight.
Fraser is in, and that one is clipped backward of square by Dunkley for a single. Yeah, and there's a good mix as well, good split between England and Scotland. And I think some of these Scottish players have said this is the closest they will get to a home World Cup, and the supporters probably feel similar as well. As Fraser is in, that one's whipped uppishly into the leg side, splits the field over the boundary between deep mid-wicket and deep square leg for another 4 to the score for England, who have moved on to 82 for 2. Capsey's on to 21.
It's a lovely strike by Capsey. Sweeps that and cleanly hits the gap between mid-wicket and square. And with that, there's a change of field, just moving mid-wicket squarer. But so intentional, that sweep shot from Alice Capsey.
Fraser is in, and that one is through the gap in the offside this time, and it's not particularly quick, but she's picked out enough of the gap as it goes away to the boundary for successive 4s. Capsey finding her feet now, 25 from 11, England 86 for 2.
So good from Capsey, manipulates the field on the leg side, and then it's dragged down shorter there by Fraser. All the fielders up on the offside, so she just rocks back, punches it through the offside, and it races away to the boundary ropes. She's looking good, is Capsey.
A really positive play for England, who've lost the wickets of Jones and Wyatt Hodge. It's Fraser coming around the wicket, and that one's pushed up towards long on, where it's fielded for a single. 87 for 2. So lots of the Scotland fielders got the sunglasses on, because we still have got a good amount of blue sky above us here at Headingley in the early evening. Fraser's into Dunkley, on the back foot, through the offside, away to the boundary, past point. In England, 91 for 2 at the halfway stage. Dunkley 57 and Capsey 26.
Well, Dunkley pierces that through the offside, rocks back and cuts that with wonderful timing straight out the middle of the bat. Looking to build a really strong partnership here. They're 40 off this partnership between Dunkley and Capsey. Run rate's creeping up. It's creeped up to 9s after 10 overs. England are now 91 for 2. That drop catch of Sophia Dunkley on 46 costing Scotland. She's now 57 from 36.
Hello.
Hello, Henry.
Very nice to see. This feels ominous, doesn't it, for Scotland? It feels like wheels maybe loosening rather in the field. 91 for 2 after 10 overs. So the partnership 40 off just 23. We're going to see Catherine Bryce into a third over from the far end of the ground in the sunshine, and plinked down the ground by Alice Capsey, who I saw early on this morning at a fan event in the middle of town, City Square in Leeds, where they had sort of thing for a professional cricketer. You're onto a loser, right? Okay. Immediately, because I'll tell you more in a sec. Next delivery is swept in the air, into the leg side, fielder underneath it takes the catch. Dunkley goes for 57. Good catch at backward square legs. It was up there for a long time. But she's got to go. She's given England the rocket-fueled start they were looking for. But goes Scotland. Here's the sign being waved in the crowd as Dunkley with a top edge. Almost got 6, but could only pick up the fielder. It's 92 for 3.
Great catch in the deep from Hannah Rainey. Sun in her eyes. She had a solid base, hands high. But Sophia Dunkley's done a job there for England. She managed to accelerate that power play losing a wicket were England after the first ball, and they didn't score a boundary until the third over. Sophia Dunkley really took the innings on, and it's been a good one. 57 from 37 deliveries.
Yep, really good innings, exactly what England were looking for. And it brings Heather Knight to the crease, 92 for 3. And so this event had all sorts of challenges, like, can you score this many runs from the bowling machine in X? Then they had another one where they had these yellow foam balls that were dropping from different points. It was a reaction test. And it's sort of thing where actually, unless you catch everything as the professional, you look rubbish.
There's a lot of pressure in those
situations. It's a load of in front of a load of kids that are sort of, looking up at you and thinking, right, show me how it's done. And it's 9 in the morning and you've probably not had your coffee. Next delivery dropped into the offside by Heather Knight. Somebody else I saw walking around Leeds today. It's actually quite a small city centre once you're in the middle of it. And I saw Heather walking out with her partner Tim. And yeah,
had a busy day, haven't you?
I've had a busy day. I'm just thinking about it. I mean, I've not stopped. It's been a relentless stream of activity.
Been a fan with the fan zones.
Oh.
Were you there as a fan?
No, I was there to record an interview with Alice Capsey, actually, who's clipping the ball into the onside out towards deep mid-wicket for 1. She moves on to 28 from just 14. Which is really interesting, actually, and talked about how her memories of 2017, being in the crowd and the inspiration that was, and how different this time around feels. And it really does, I think, doesn't it? There's just a sort of sense of this feels so much bigger. Knight, deep in the crease. Captaining that side back 9 years ago. She's going to have to be quick there as throw goes in at the non-striker's end. Puff of dust as she runs her bat home. 4 from the over, 95 for 3.
Scary to think how young she was at that point 9 years ago.
Yeah.
She's 21 years of age now.
Goodness. Don't. So I think of that as very recent history.
I do
So
as
does
well,
Alex,
yeah.
nodding, having been part of the team. Onto the hips of Capsey, who'll just work the ball behind square for a single. And Bryce finishes her over with the score on 96 for 3 after 11. As I tell you, you can join the conversation, tms at bbc.co.uk. We're doing every ball of every game of this tournament, and we've had some crackers already. We really have. We've had some very near misses on the big shocks. We've had some, well, today's game, Bangladesh against Pakistan, extraordinary game, really. And all the details available to have a look at on the Test Match Special.
Seems to be Group A where all the upsets are as well.
I know.
West Indies causing all sorts of trouble. New Zealand hardly winning a game. I think they've won 1 from 3, the defending champions.
But only just. Only just.
Nearly got beaten by Ireland.
That was agonising for the side. Dug in short, hammered away. That's a lovely looking shot. There's a fielder. Oh, goodness me. The 18-year-old from Tendler's let it through the legs in front of the Western Terrace. Not the place to do that. As the runs keep on flowing for England, and Capsey pulling hard across those used pitches. Picking up another boundary to take England to the 100 mark, 100 for 3.
We just pulled a little bit of momentum back, had Scotland. A wicket and only 2 from the previous over. And this is where you see things just move back into England's favour.
Yeah.
Where the discipline goes for Scotland.
Deep in the crease, defending. That's nicely played. Just riding the bounce. It was a good delivery from Hannah Rainey.
She has got great pace about her, as Hannah Rainey. It's just making sure she hits a length, which she did there. And it gets fast on Capsey. She has to defend that high up on the bat. Whereas the previous delivery, when it's short, it sits up nicely. She's able to pull it.
Next ball is pushed away nicely through the offside, out towards the square boundary. That's a lovely piece of fielding out there by McCall. And if earlier in the over we saw 2 runs gifted, that was probably 2 runs saved. So they're pretty much even for the over, I'd say. 102 for 3. If that makes any sort of sense.
Great fielding out in the deep. They've had some excellent moments, some ugly moments of Scotland. That's one of the better ones. Full stretch dive in the deep. It's a tough surface out there as well with all the wickets across the square. It's a fast, rapid outfield here at Headingley.
Next delivery, outside the off stump, isn't timed. You can hear that off the bat. It goes plinking out towards deep cover for 1. 7 from the over. If England can go at 10s, that would take them to 186, which would feel very much more than enough. Average first innings T20 score on this ground is 165.
Yeah, it's always a high-scoring ground at Headingley. India posted 209 against the Netherlands here on Wednesday afternoon, I think it was.
Yeah, and we've seen some big, big scores over the course of the last couple of days. Australia passing 200. Knight on strike. On 2. And she'll feel she's missed out there because that was leg side-ish, and she tried to help it down to fine leg, but it got a little bit big on her. I think possibly came off the body rather than bat. No, 1 has been signalled. So yes, email tms@bbc.co.uk if you want to get in touch.
I think it's quite a statement when teams post over 200. That's what England will be looking to do today. Shows your capability, your strength and depth.
Rainy bowls and hammered into the onside, but there is a fielder out there patrolling things in the deep. Again, McCall is very effective out there on the boundary, and it'll just be 2 runs. I mean, it is 10 from the over, but England would need to go at 12s if they're to pass the 200 mark from here.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Tasks them with it. You've got Kemp, Gibson to come in. Charlie Dean can hit a good ball. It's a belting wicket. The outfield's rapid. These are the moments that should be really pushing themselves to accelerate through the innings.
We've got an apology to make to Lynn, however, who is listening at Headingley. She says, I've got you in my ear. I'm at Headingley, but you're a good minute behind the live action. Would you mind awfully catching up? Well, I'm afraid you're going to have to contact your service provider. And if you're listening to us on BBC Sound, well, you can listen back to the entire game in its entirety. Kirsty Gordon start of a new over. Heather Knight defends. Knight would have captained Kirsty Gordon at the 2018 T20 World Cup in the West Indies. Knows her capabilities, and we've seen them so far. 2.1 overs, 2 for 5. Knight waits, bat raised. Comes forward to meet it. Working into the onside. They'll turn for a second, yes, and then sensibly no.
It's great work by Gordon there off her own bowling. It's when the ball just trickles to that inner ring. And it's always the fight for whether 2 is on. But Catherine Bryce, the captain, using Kirsty Gordon well throughout this innings. Very much using Kirsty Gordon how Sophie Ecclestone used to be used by England in precious, precious moments. I think they've got more depth amongst their bowling attack now.
Gordon bowls, Capsey swivelling, pulling the ball away, but straight to the hands of the fielder. Out on the backward square leg boundary. Times it nicely, but doesn't find the ropes.
But when they're wanting something to happen, they're bowling Gordon. First over of the game, first over after the power play, got a wicket in both those overs. So now the 12th over, when the game's in the mix, can she create another breakthrough for Scotland?
Knight attempting the reverse sweep, and it's a shot she plays well, but she didn't get anything on it on this occasion.
Big cheer from the crowd as well. They enjoyed it.
What, the invention?
The invention, whether it could have been a stumping, a drop catch, who knows what just happened there.
Beautiful evening. As in comes Gordon. Knight forward again to meet it, working the ball out towards the deep. The long barrier out there on the boundary will very carefully from Fraser prevent any damage being done. Scotland have been loose at times, but someone that hasn't been is Kirsty Gordon, who's only conceded 3 from this over with the ball remaining. And Capsey will ensure it is only going to be 1 more, so 110 for 3. It's now been 11 balls since we've seen a boundary, so England just struggling a little bit to get away. Drinks will be taken in and over, but England are 110 for 3.
I think they'll be reasonably happy with that over 4 off Kirsty Gordon's. They know that she's the biggest threat for Scotland. And when Kirsty Gordon's bowling, it's about rotating rather than boundary striking. But that'll be consciously in the back of their mind. They're only 3 down. 7 overs left. How do they accelerate now through this final part of the game?
This is the sort of scenario building you do in the nets, isn't it? When you say you need X off how many balls. This is what you've got to play like.
It is indeed.
Coaches, you often hear saying that. Right, 20 off 6 or whatever. Rainey, full delivery. That's a good ball. It's quick. And it's too quick for Capsey, who drives past, the fresh air from which the ball has just scuttled on through.
It's a gorgeous length from Hannah Rainey. Beats the outside edge of Capsey. It's the second time she's done Capsey all ends up.
Yeah.
Just a faint tickle is all she needs there.
Here is next delivery. It's a little bit slower, and Capsey does get bat on it, but again, it only finds the fielders. 13 deliveries now since we've seen a 4.
She's got a nice back of the hander, does Hannah Rainey as well, as a stock delivery. She's bowled a lot of pace on today, but it's proving successful. It's got something in the wicket. Is Headingley for the seamers if you put it in the right area. Coming down the hill is Rainey.
Oh, bowler, beauty! Capsey goes for 40, and that's a reward for some really good bowling and pressure from Scotland. Oh, what a moment that is for any bowler to see the stumps rocked back. England are 110 for 4. Capsey, the set batter, goes 40 from 25. It's a beautiful ball. Top of off stump. Bails flying everywhere. Frame that, put it on the bathroom wall, and enjoy it forevermore.
What a delivery from Hannah Rainey. She'd beat her all ends up twice already, Alice Capsey. It's a huge wicket. And as a fast bowler to hit the top of off like that, she's absolutely buzzing. Huge wicket for Hannah Rainey. Huge wicket for Scotland. England are now 110 for 4. Game is back in the mix for Scotland.
A little bit, yeah. Still 6.5 overs to go. England do have power to come in the form of Kemp and Gibson. But after that, you're then really looking at the lower middle order. Let's not be overly expressive about the batting frailties low down. But I would say that certainly they're getting through the bulk of the danger.
It just kills and stings momentum as well. That's huge within T20 cricket. Alice Capsey, you could tell she hadn't scored a boundary for a while. Last boundary was 14 balls ago. And that pressure that built created that wicket for Scotland.
Yeah.
So although Kirsty Gordon didn't strike in a third over, which she had done twice in a previous 2, she helped build that pressure. Awesome from Hannah Rainey.
Yeah.
Playing today is Rachel Slater is out with injury, who's been brilliant as well for Scotland with the new ball.
I think with the ball, they've been so disciplined, and in the field, less so at times, but with the ball, really impressive. And that was a lovely delivery. Well worth watching again on the BBC Sport website and app. I mean, and it says a lot about this Scotland side that, and I don't sort of, I really don't want to understate this, because I spoke to a number of their players and coaches last year about how they had no fixtures, not one scheduled. And it was unbelievable. But, you know, you've got someone like Hannah Rainey who's charging in. She's a vet most of the time in Cumbria.
Well, the advantage that they do have is that a lot of them are playing competitive domestic cricket for the majority of the English season. So Hannah Rainey plays for Yorkshire, Kirsty Gordon, the Blaze. I think nearly every player has a associate domestic team as well that they're playing for. So these girls play a lot of cricket, and that is why you see that depth coming through now. But you would like to see more cricket being played by Scotland outside of these big tournaments.
Yeah. Agree with that. The left-handed Freya Kemp, a very unusual sight in England women's cricketer is a left-hander. Kemp is a very dangerous operator. If she gets going, no ground's big enough. First ball she faces is pulled into the leg side, behind square for 1. And midway through the 14th over, it's 111 for 4. And it's a beautiful delivery, that. It really was.
100 wildcards were 2 days ago, weren't they? I think Hannah Rainey, after today's performance, would have got one.
It's a cracking ball.
She's looked good today, has Rainey. It's a brilliant over, this.
Right arm over, in once again, and that comes off a leading edge of Heather Knight's bat. Will drop towards point. There's no run. So just a 1 run off the over. And Rainey's bowled 2.5 overs, 1 for 19. It's impressive going, that.
You think 2 of the boundaries that she got hit for
Were fumbles.
Were fumbles.
Yeah, it's a good point. Next delivery is pulled away. Into the leg side it goes. This could be 4 runs. Has it gone between the fielders? It has. And Heather Knight does just about find that gap as Phoebe Graham takes a break. And we'll be joined by Catherine Siver-Brunt, who can give her rule of what you think. What have you made of what you've seen?
Ooh, what have I made? Well, it's nice, isn't it?
I mean, that was as a fast bowler, you'll have appreciated that over.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's a Yorkshire lass for a start.
Well,
she's not a Yorkshire lass.
No, she's not.
But
She's born in London and works at Cumbria and went to
Shut up,
university
you.
in Edinburgh. But, okay, whatever.
All right, I'll just rejig what I said. She plays for Yorkshire for this 2nd season this year. So she will know this pitch fairly well.
Yeah.
So you would expect her to have had experience bowling down the hill, which, you know, is quite difficult. So she's got the hang of it. Obviously feeling good about where she is, feels familiar. And, yeah, I liked what I saw. Consistent. Normally with, you know, I don't even know how to say it. Not as good at playing cricket nations. They're not as very consistent, 5 out of 6 balls. But that was a very consistent over.
It's the start of a new over from the far end. Sees Kemp pummeling the ball out through a straightish mid-wicket. And Fraser's 3rd over starts with one of the more brutal, powerful strokes we've seen in the game. It's 119 for 4 at the start of the 15th.
I said at the beginning when Amy lobbed that ball up to extra cover, I would love to see Freya Kemp and Danny Gibson have 20 balls apiece. It would be really nice to see, because when you see a shot like that, that's a quality player, that kind of shot. So it's a confident Freya Kemp, and I don't want to say anything, I don't want to jinx anything, but that's a good sign.
That was a lovely shot.
Yeah, and against one of their better bowlers as well.
Next delivery. Sees Kemp punching off the back foot, hits it so hard. There are certain players you see who seem to hit it much harder than anyone else in the game. I'm thinking of, well, Nat Siver-Brunt would be one, and when she's in full flow,
Danny
Elise
Gibson,
Perry.
have you seen when she mishits them?
Yeah,
You're
they
like,
go a
oh, that's
mile.
out. 6.
Not a bit of it.
Crazy. But she's a long-levered lady like Nat. I think Nat's 5'11", nearly, and Freya's. She says she's not 6 foot, but she's 6 foot. I don't know what it is about women not wanting to own the 6 foot. I would own the 6 foot.
Knight is sweeping for 4. It's been a loose over this from Fraser, who stands with her hands on her hips and rolls up the sleeves and thinks, well, I've got to do something to try and put a bit of a stop to all of this, because there's 9 off the over already. England are 124 for 4. Well, it's one of those things, I suppose, isn't it? A little bit where, you know, that sort of extra height can make such a difference to power,
in
can't it?
In the women's game, definitely, yeah.
Round the wicket with the off spin. Knight will punch down the ground off the back foot for 1, pushing hard. Trying to think of a second. Kemp is sent back, quite rightly so. Throw comes in and hits the stumps.
Kemp needs just reminding that Heather's at the other end with her sore, poorly hamstrings. That we'll never see her run rapidly again.
Did she ever?
No.
In the nicest possible way? 125 for 4.
You do forget sometimes, though, when you're when I see a quick runner with a slow, I'm just like,
I think she's got quicker in
guys.
the last couple of years.
Yeah. her and Nat ran really well at Southampton. Not good for Nat, but...
No, it wasn't until the calf went. Oh, dear. Damien's emailed. Dear Henry, why the bathroom wall? This is clipped up the ground by Freya Kemp towards wide long on for a single. It's nicely timed. Well, when I said the bathroom wall for Rainey to put a picture of that wicket, because I think in this day and age when you've always got your phone on you, when you're having a nice bath, one of the rare times you don't. So if it's on the bathroom wall, you can just luxuriate and admire your handiwork. 126 for 4. Knight sweeping, doesn't quite time it, but does well enough. Oh, and the fielder does not do well enough. The ball goes out to the leg side, and the fielder actually ran past it. So 130 for 4, 15 overs gone. Victoria Polly's going to come in and join you. Just a reminder that defeats for Pakistan and the Netherlands today in Southampton has knocked them both out of the running. Pakistan's defeat in particular was a very disappointing fall away in pursuit of 124. They were 100 for 8 at the end. Anyway, 130 for 4 is the England score here, and 5 overs to come. Catherine, some thoughts?
Yeah, I was just having a little thought of that over. Going for 15, Fraser's normally so consistent. One of their go-to bowlers having somewhat of an off day. Looking here, 0 for 44 off 3. She'll be so disappointed in that, and I'll be surprised if Catherine Bryce goes back to her for another over, to be honest.
Evening to you, Catherine. We've got Hannah Rainey continuing. She's running away from us, and there's a swing and a miss from Kemp. Looking for the powerful hit. Good bowling again from Rainey.
She's got it on a good length, hasn't she? And this is the real test now for the youngster, I think. This is what's good for England, when you have the ability to send a left-hander in and you just throw her off her rhythm a little bit and maybe create some width. So let's see if Rainey's got a response to that.
In she comes, bowls. That's clipped into the leg side by Kemp. It's fielded for a single. 131 for 4. Rainey knows this ground well, playing for Yorkshire. Previously with Lancashire, actually came away from her job as a vet to take up cricket full time.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad she did, because from what I'm seeing, like she's a good talent.
Scotland will be glad she did as well.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got some more issues with people moving behind the ball, I think.
Got a lot of amateurs in the last few games, all over the sight screens. It's very irritating. To be honest, they've just scooched off the England's coaching staff. The psych and the spin bowling coach have just got removed. Shame.
Of all people
That's shame.
to know.
Shame.
Everyone's in their rightful place now. Rainey with ball in hand is in, and that's just wrapped Knight on the pads, gets her all in a spin and drops into the pitch.
Yeah, she just missed out on a boundary there. Just always going down, always missing. Unlucky for Heather, it's clipped her trouser leg or pad, and she doesn't get the wide. So another dot ball for Rainey, looking good so far. 3 more balls left in her spell for Heather Knight to create something.
Yeah, just a single from the over so far. Rainey with the shorter ball, which just bounces through to Sarah Bryce, and it is called a wide.
Yeah, I'd just like to have another look at that. We're 5 floors up, so we can't really see the height on that. But it looked, from what I'm seeing, a good ball. Somewhat risky. She's got third man and fine leg up in the ring. And obviously both of those fielders not knowing she's bowling that. Yeah, risky.
132 for 4. Rainey is in. Knight's coming forward to meet that one back to the bowler.
Yeah, she's really bowling some really good lines and lengths here, but she's not doing anything, outer worldly. This is literally just on a good length at the stumps, which as a batter you practice all the time. Heather's not really taking any risks. There's no paddle being made, which it would just fly away for 4 off the paddle. She's not using her feet to come down the wicket and smack through extra. Yeah, I think she could take more risks at this stage.
Scotland have been good with that line and length in this tournament. So Heather Knight this time goes over fine leg. She sweeps away. She gets hold of that one. And England on to 136 for 4. That's what you wanted to see.
That is exactly what I wanted to see, because at the end of the day, like you want to be as aggressive as you possibly can. Like they got off to a fly. Like we were going at 8-9s and over, and you want to capitalise on that, not slow that down, because there are people further down the order. Danny Gibson itching to come in and just smash it to all parts. So yeah, I love that innovation from Heather.
She's on to 22 as Rainey is in, and that one is played into the pitch. They'll scamper through for the single, and just ricochets off the bat, I think, of Kemp as they come through. And at the end of the 16th, 137 for 4. So Rainey's 4 overs have gone 1 for 30. I've seen some nice deliveries from her.
Yeah, I think England at this point would are happy to see the back of her. Even though in my head I'm like, oh, that's coming on at a nice pace. But she was just able to hold her line and length and be brave with that and say, well, you're going to have to do something, actually, because I'm quite happy just collecting my dots. So, yeah, you know, for me, that was a great spell of bowling. And as Henry said, the Alice Capsey wicket is one for the bathroom wall.
I guess your guests use the bathroom. That gives them an opportunity to see it a bit more.
I don't have any pictures of mine, anything that I really loved wicket-wise, anywhere in the house.
Well, now you know where to put it.
Now I know. I'm just going to do the bathroom door. But that's where my dressing gown is, so maybe somewhere near the bath, like you said. I
have to have a shuffle around.
A few bubbles, glass of champagne, just reminisce.
We're going to see Prernas Chatterjee back into the attack for Scotland. Bit of width on that one for Knight just to play to point. The point about Freya Kemp being in at the moment, Catherine, she's on 8, and Danny Gibson as well, still to come. Time in the middle is important as well. Yes, you want to win, and you want to win well and not lose too many wickets, but you do want your players out there and being involved in the match as much as possible.
It's so important, and Freya needs to get on strike right now.
It's Knight facing, and she's whipped this one through the offside. It should be cut off in the deep, and they'll get back for 2. So we should have to wait a little longer for the strike. 25 now for Heather Knight, 139 for 4. Yeah,
like you saw the way Freya came in. She's middling the ball. She could have easily had a few boundaries that were just kept to 1. Yeah, her 8 off 6 doesn't reflect the way she's striking the ball out there at the minute.
Chatterjee in to Knight, who's down and sweeping and caught. Short fine leg, takes the catch above her head. And that is the end of Heather Knight. Kirsty Gordon holding on to it. Knight goes for 25, England 139 for 5.
Yeah, it's good to see, like, that's not a bad thing. It's good to see Heather. She was taking some more risks there, more than she would personally like to be doing, but it's good to see her creating something out of nothing, out of a good ball, should I say, and being innovative with her shots. But it's also good for England in that it brings Danny Gibson to the crease. She's now got a decent amount of balls to share with Freya Kemp here at the back end, and this is going to be the first time we get to have a look at these two in a partnership. I'm just praying it's not like a first ball or anything. I just want to see these two now bat out these 20 overs. We've got 3.5 overs between them to just accelerate this to 180. I know that's a lot, but they're capable, and I just want that to pay off for them, to give England the confidence moving forward.
Here we go then. England's middle order all-rounders who can hit powerfully. And they've got 3 and a bit overs to do so.
It's going to be quite difficult. I think Prerna's not giving much pace to work with.
She's on her way in to Gibson. First ball, straight to point, but it's misfielded, so they can come through for the single. There's been a few of those now, either just the misfield, the extra single, or the fielding in the deep where it's gone through for the boundary.
Yeah, there's been a hell of a lot of misfields. Scotland will reflect on this thinking, what on earth, like, this is not normal for them. This is a bad day at the office. So in terms of fielding, they've made some very, very good. It's sort of been like either very good or very poor, hasn't it? But that mistake was created through the power of the cut shot from Gibson. She hit it with some decent force, so I think we'll allow her that one, but only one.
Just had the change around for Freya Kemp, who's on 8. I think had too much of the strike for the left-hander. Put deep square leg back. So Chatterjee is in, and that's come off the bottom edge of the bat, not timed by Kemp. She'll just get a single for that one.
Yeah, good length. Didn't really have the length to work with there, so made the best out of it, what she could, without moving her feet. So, you know, it's good from Chatterjee to sort of cramp her for room, which brings Danny Gibson back on strike.
141 for 5. Gibson with a single from the first ball, and she's slapped that one straight to mid-off for no run.
You can just see she's desperate to just smack it to all parts. It's a good old wind-up for these two. There's a danger they might put too much pressure on themselves just to hit boundaries, just to hit it a long, long way. So hope they can just give themselves a little bit of breathing space too.
141 for 5 at the end of the 17th. Then we're just seeing some pictures on the screen of the presentation to Priyanaz Chatterjee by her family before the game for 150th cap for Scotland. It looked like a lot of preparation had gone into that. Notebooks and speeches written down. So the captain, Catherine Bryce, is going to have a bowl at Freya Kemp. Kemp is on 9. And with 3 overs. Oh, that's got a bit of width on it through the offside. And they push for 2. Will it be fielded on the boundary? It will. Good stop. Just inside the rope. England add a couple. 143 for 5.
Yeah, just an easy 2 there. This will be quite awkward for Catherine Bryce. I'd actually prefer to see her round the wicket, because she angles it in when she can't swing it in anymore. So this will be, you know, everything's missing at this point.
Bryce into the left-handed Kemp, who's gone big. Is that going to be a 6? It is. She's gone big over the long-on boundary to move England on to 149 for 5 and Kemp on to 17.
That was such a clean strike, wasn't it? She waited so well for that, because Catherine Bryce does bowl quite slow, probably about 60 miles an hour at best, so she's a clean strike.
Bryce bowls, and this one's been hit uppishly towards the same place, but this time long on is going to get hold of it on the bounce.
She was quite wide, actually, that long on. Very wide indeed. So I think Catherine Bryce set her field quite well there, knowing with the sheer pace of it, you're more likely to hit it between cow and long on. So good field placements. She's now got long on, long off to Danny Gibson. Deep cow, deep backward square. No one out on the offside.
150 comes up in the 18th over as Bryce is in, and that one is along the ground to long on for Danny Gibson for a single. 151 for 5. There's a great moment earlier where the Proclaimers was booming out over the speakers, and both Catherine Bryce and Kirsty Gordon did the little march and were doing the shouting along with the crowd.
Proper jokers. Love those two. Been friends with them for a long time now, and honestly, 2 of the best humans ever.
Bryce is in to Kemp, who's played that one through the leg side, found the gap, away for 4 runs. Well, they're adding as many runs as they possibly can in the closing stages of this England innings. 155 for 5, all the 5s, and Kemp is on to 22.
Anything across the square at Headingley is just going to absolutely blitz away. No one actually anywhere near that, to be honest. And Kemp 8 from 6, now suddenly on 22 from 11. This is just what she can do.
Final ball of the over to Kemp, and she's gone big this time. Similar position, away for 6, into the leg side from Freya Kemp. Well, we said we wanted to see these two and their powerful hitting. And Freya Kemp's here to entertain. 28 for her now. England at 161 for 5 at the end of the 18th.
Yeah, I think she was just offering up it a bit fuller, Catherine Bryce, knowing that she doesn't have pace to work with, so she can't really bowl back of a length. So offering up a little bit too full. I don't know if she was trying to go for the Yorker, but Kemp sensing the length was off. She gave her a bit of width outside off, which gave her the arms to swing through the line and smack that over cow. She would have been definitely eyeing that up somewhat premeditated, I imagine. And yeah, another clean strike. I'm absolutely loving the way that Freya Kemp is timing the ball and hitting it so clean out of the middle of the bat. It's so good to watch.
Yeah, the run rate 8.94 now for England, so they stay the same. Projected score 179, but if they can go at 10 or 12s, we're looking at the 180s. Kirsty Gordon 2 for 9 bowling, and that one is played square of the wicket by Danny Gibson through the offside for 4 runs. She just managed to bisect the infield there, found the gap. There wasn't anyone out in the deep. 165 for 5.
You know what I'm confused about, and I'm not saying this now because of what's happening, but in my head, I don't know why Kirsty Gordon didn't bowl another over in the power play. It's especially when Sophia Dunkley doesn't like that kind of left-arm spin. So I was very confused by that, which means she's bowling at the back end here, where she should never be doing that.
And she comes. It's use of the feet from Gibson and Kemp at the non-striker's end. That's a duck out of the way of that one as it's parried on the boundary and over the boundary for 4 runs.
Like almost 10 times out of 10 that's getting stopped, right? But she's just absolutely pounded it. The non-striking batter, Freya, could barely get out of the way. So the fielder's done absolutely nothing wrong. She's practically there for it. She ran full sprint, full length dive, got a palm on it, but can't really stop it. Honestly, that's hit such force.
Yeah, she's diving along the ground there is Darcy Carter to try and stop it, but it's almost the force of her has taken it over the boundary, and she looks in a bit of discomfort. She was in the wars the other night as well in the West Indies game with some kind of cramp or calf injury in that as well. As Gordon's coming over the wicket, and Gibson again, use of the feet, straight back down the ground for 6. Wow, that is huge from Danny Gibson. England 175 for 5.
Right, well, we're going to wait for the TV replay to tell us how far that's gone, but that's gone second tier of the Howard stand. That's unbelievable. And it's what I said earlier. I said she mishits balls for 6. She's that part when we were talking about Nat and Freya hitting the ball powerfully.
She's on to 16 as Gordon is in. That one's not timed. It just drops into the leg side in a gap, and Gordon comes across to field it herself. England get a single to the score, 176 for 5.
Yeah, and then back to my point about her bowling that second over in the power play. That means then the rest of the game, maybe they're thinking Rainey's got to bowl one at the back end. Honestly, I just cannot believe Kirsty Gordon's bowling the last 2 overs of the game. So, not that it's a terrible choice, it's just wouldn't be my go-to with the other people within their squad. Yeah, I think they missed a trick here, and at the minute it is actually costing them. Well, it's 16 so far, 17, is it? Have I just made that up?
She's picked up a couple of wickets early on as this one's clipped into the leg side, and it was 1 bounce for Freya Kemp. She found the gap between the long on boundary and deep mid wicket, bounced away over the boundary, and that is proving expensive now for Scotland.
Yeah, 19 off 5 balls with 1 delivery left that I'm sure Kirsty Gordon's absolutely buzzing about bowling. Yeah, this is not a good scenario, and one they could have just easily avoided.
She had a bright start, former England bowler who's returned to her Scottish roots to be a part of the side at this World Cup. Gordon is in around the wicket, bottom edged into the leg side by Kemp. Has that got enough on it to get over the boundary? No, it's a really good stop in the deep mid wicket. Pippa Sproul getting across to save a couple of runs for her side, who have leaked them in that over. 1 over to come, England 182 for 5.
Honestly, she'll be kicking herself, and Catherine Bryce will be kicking herself even more for how it's panned out. It might have been that she looked up and thought, oh, I've got to get an over in here, let's go to the spinner, but no, not a good decision, and they've paid for it dearly. 21 runs off that, and now the last 2 overs probably combined nearly gone for about 40.
It's rather ruined Kirsty Gordon's figures, hasn't it?
The momentum now massively with England. You've got Freya Kemp 34 from 14 and Danny Gibson 17 from 7. They're seeing it pretty well.
Yeah, Kirsty Gordon 2 for 30 as Priya Chatterjee bowls that one wide of off stump, and that's slapped through the offside, wide of the long off boundary for 4 runs.
Yeah, it's a bit alarming when you're the captain. You see your bowler who's got all of the offside up. Sorry, she did have a deep cover. That's how hard it was hit. Just short and wide, and no plan there whatsoever. So I think they are feeling tension somewhat, so it's brought on a change of field. Extra cover comes round to normal cover in the ring, and we've got a deep extra. I think she's thinking with the pace that ball was, it was just too easy to hit that in front, so a smart change actually.
Gibson is on 21. This Chatterjee is in, full delivery. This one's clipped towards long on, which is juggled once, picked up on the second attempt and through as they get a single to the score. England 187 for 5, and they'll be trying to add as many runs as possible. Remember, they lost a wicket on the first ball. Amy Jones caught in the covers off the bowling of Kirsty Gordon. Rebuilt with Sophia Dunkley making a half century. There was runs as well for Alice Capsey, who made 40. Heather Knight with 25, and Freya Kemp 34 not out, with Danny Gibson 22 not out at the moment.
I said they could add 180 if they came out and gave us a nice little show, and
they heard you.
Nearly about to make 190. So, yeah, what a great finish and great job, no matter what happens from here.
Chatterjee on her mark, running away from us with number 7 on her back. Over the wicket to Kemp, who's played that one behind square and away. 4 more to the score for England. 191 for 5, having been put into bat. And Kemp moves on to 38.
I think Hannah Rainey just running down there from deep forward of square, I think that was more a mental thing than anything. She could have put a dive in but decided against it at the end, and it was unlucky actually because it was a decent ball and it was just sort of hacked away behind square, but nonetheless it's another boundary for England.
And it's a partnership now worth 52 for England.
Lovely.
Chatterjee into Kemp, who's played that one uppishly towards mid-off, single. They can chop through comfortably for that. 2 deliveries to come. England 192 for 5.
Yep, a beautiful Yorker, Chatterjee. Very hard to bowl, especially when you've got 2 people at the other end who are capable of pumping that back over your head for 6 easily if you miss your length by 3 inches. So, very brave, well executed.
Danny Gibson to face the penultimate ball of the innings. Chatterjee is in, width on that one, played away through the offside for 4 more.
Oh my goodness.
Certainly enjoying themselves out there now.
Train.
We wanted to see them hitting powerfully for England, and they're certainly doing that. 200 now, possibility, 196 for 5.
Yeah, there's one person out on the offside, and she's hit it directly at them, but she's hit it so powerfully that they barely had time to make 4 or 5 steps. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying about missing the Yorker. You miss it, and you're gonna get punished badly. This is great striking from England, and what we thought in the first 5 minutes would be somewhat dodgy pitch has turned out to be an absolute belter.
There's nothing to lose now here for Danny Gibson. The crowd in anticipation as Chatterjee is in, and she's hit that along the ground. Will it get past the 2 fielders? It will. Into the leg side. 4 runs, 200 comes up for England, and that's how they'll finish. A good recovery with the bat. Powerful hitting from Freya Kemp and Danny Gibson. Gibson finishes 30 not out and Kemp 39. The crowd like it, the pyrotechnics go off, and Scotland will need 201 to win this game.
I asked to see these 2. I was desperate for it. I've been calling for it the last 3 games. I've got what I wanted, and that is what they're capable of. I just hope they can maintain this through the business end of the tournament. What a partnership, and what a treat for this Headingley crowd. Everybody on TV, they get to see those 2 bat in such an amazing way, and with a partnership of 61 off 21 balls. Like, you just have to be here to appreciate how good that was.
Really positive then for England, and particularly, Catherine, because when Amy Jones hit that first delivery straight to the fielder and
then
had
we
to
saw
trudge
a few
off.
spin as well, so we were like, ooh.
There was a drop as well, wasn't there, early on? Dunkley was dropped, so to see England get to 200, how pleasing is that?
Oh my God! So net run rate is obviously a massive thing within this tournament. It can really just be the catalyst for what happens to you in this tournament. So just for them to every single game make no doubt about that net run rate is just so pleasing, especially after seeing Australia today almost ruined the party with the record of how many runs to post. They've just sort of like gone, well, here's 200 against one of the best teams in the tournament. So, I'm so pleased. And we've not even got, how many wickets? 5 down. So there's still more in the tank.
Well, England will be now getting ready to bowl. But expecting a few moments, we'll hear from one of the stars with the bat for England, making 200 for 5 from their 20 overs. Amy Jones out naught on first ball. Danny White-Hodge was out for 7. Sophia Dunkley top scoring with 57. She was eventually called off the bowling of Catherine Bryce.
Side me, how did you enjoy that partnership? The ball was flying to all parts here.
Yeah, it was obviously brilliant to get to 200. The way Freya and Gibbo finished there, it was awesome to watch. We were all stood up there watching the ball fly all over. So yeah, delighted to get to the 200 mark, and looking forward to hopefully defending it.
40 of 25, 6 fours for you. Tell me about the partnership between you and Sophia Dunkley.
Yeah, look, obviously when I came in, Dunks was hitting them to all parts as well, so it was just about supporting her. For me, it was just about getting myself in, hitting kind of the gaps, and just reacting to the ball really. And then, I got lucky with a few fours, and that kind of managed to get me into my innings and could expand from there, I guess.
Wonderful batting surface here. You still got to bowl well. You've got a great bowling unit. What do you have to do well here tonight to defend, although you do have 200 on the board?
Yeah, definitely. I think the key here is bowling straight. Any width on offer is cash in. So that'll be the key message, I think, from the batters who have batted to get across to the bowlers. And then I think also change of pace was pretty useful for them. And look, we've got a very high quality bowling attack. So they've watched the last 20 overs. They can stick to their strengths. And as long as we support the bowlers in the field as well, I hope it will be good.
Well batted today.
Cheers, thanks.
That's Alice Capsey there, who made 40 from 25 with her thoughts on 205 on the board for England. Catherine Sciver-Brunt, Scotland then needing 201 to win this one. What will the England bowlers be thinking? What will they be saying to each other?
Well, for a start, they should start very confidently. Whenever your batters post 200, you instantly feel calm. You feel like you can run in with a bit of freedom, a bit of energy. You don't have to be too worried about the batsmen. Sometimes you can focus on the opening batters and go, Christ, I know what they're capable of, and this is a very good pitch, and you can all have all those worries. But when a total's posted like that, they sort of dissipate. They go away. The voices, they quieten down, and you can concentrate on what's important, and that's being clear and just sticking to your strengths. And like Alice said there, she's absolutely spot on here, because the square is so fast, you can't bowl width. So line and length is key, and Hannah Rainey showed exactly how to bowl on here. They will have to take a lot of risks, and don't be surprised if they're all out for 80, because like the Scots do, they're brave and they're strong, and I hope, will try and chase this total down.
You've called a lot of things tonight, so let's see if you call that one. Catherine Sciver-Brunt, thank you very much for now. Back with us on commentary a little bit later on. You're listening to 5 Sport Extra, commentary of England against Scotland in the Women's T20 World Cup. Also available to listen to on BBC Sounds and wherever you are on the ICC app as well. It's Victoria Polly here with you, and I'm pleased to have been joined by Matt Henry from BBC Sports. I was just running through the scorecard before that. So just to finish off, we just heard from Alice Capsey, who made 40 from 25. Heather Knight with a useful 25, and then that cameo to finish. Not really a cameo, powerful hitting from Freya Kemp, 39 not out, and Danny Gibson, 30. In terms of the bowling, the pick of the bowlers for Scotland, Kirsty Gordon, 2 wickets, but her figures were rather ruined in that final over, 2 for 30. I think she had only gone for 9 previous to that final one. A wicket apiece for the captain, Catherine Bryce, Hannah Rainey and Prernas Chatterjee as well. Evening to you, Matt. First of all, what have you made of things so far here at Headingley?
Impressive, wasn't it? England they're building a bit of momentum in this tournament. We were worried beforehand, or England fans were worried, I shouldn't say we, about what the loss of Nat Sciver-Brunt might do, and of course we expect there to be tougher tests to come against more established nations than Scotland, but they've made a perfect start, and they were helped early on by Scotland. We shouldn't forget that. Those 3 drop catches of Sophia Dunkley, there was a few misfields, and that allowed the platform. But the way that Freya Kemp and Danny Gibson have almost given a new dimension to England's batting in the latter half of an innings. It feels like it's changed the game for them a little bit in T20s. Charlotte Edwards spoke after the 50-over World Cup last year, and she said, and it kind of I raised an eyebrow or two at the time when she was saying that had Danny Gibson and Freya Kemp been fit for that tournament in India, obviously England went out in the semi-final of that, and they said that things could have been totally different. That's what Charlotte Edwards said. You kind of think, yeah, maybe, but it were seam bowling all-rounders in a World Cup in India. Is that true? I mean, she's been proven absolutely right in this tournament because Freya Kemp and Gibson they're just able to hit boundaries in the latter part of an innings, and something that England have struggled with for so long, and it's been able to get them up to, what did we say the partnership was? 61 from 21 balls unbeaten at the end of the innings, gets them up to 205. It's an imposing total.
Yeah, it's transformed how things looked for England in the back end of that innings. Talking of England, the men today at the Oval closing on 182 for 5, still 281 runs short of their target there, but it's the standing captain Joe Root, 75 not out, who's leading the resistance. Talk of the standing captain there, the England Test captain, Ben Stokes, back playing for Durham in the latest round of county championship matches, and you've been to see him, Matt.
Yeah, I was there yesterday. It's absolutely typical. You could see this coming. The only surprise is that Stokes didn't get the extra 5 runs. That the England team, without him, are struggling massively, heading to what looks like heading towards a defeat at the Oval. And Stokes stealing the headlines up north, 250 miles away up the A1, whacking the ball around and scoring. Well, 95 he got in the end, at almost a run a ball. We could have predicted that. It was typical that was going to happen. And in a strange sort of way, Stokes has come out of this week quite well in the end. I mean, so much has gone on over the last few days, since last Monday now, it is almost 2 weeks ago, and that incident in the nightclub that we still don't fully know about, but we'll skip over that bit for now. But in the last few days, as all the controversies died down from that side of things and what would happen going forward, in the last couple of days, Stokes has been proven to be the best leader England have, crucial in balancing that team, and now he's back in the runs and has managed to get some sort of form going with the bat as well. So it's just, in a strange sort of way, been a good couple of days for him. And
there was obviously the media interest in him being back playing for Durham in that county championship match against Northamptonshire. Did it feel like that at the ground? Were the spectators sort of getting involved in that as well?
It did. I won't name him, but I was stood over by the dressing rooms before play yesterday up at Durham. So I was there yesterday, I wasn't there today because I've been here. But and one of the Durham players walked past and just said to me, there's a lot of you guys and cameramen here today, I wonder why, which it did prove it. There was various TV crews there, there was so many journalists. They had to be in an overspill room yesterday at Chesley Street on a different floor because the press box was full, and he has and always has been such a big draw and a big interest around Ben Stokes because things like this seem to follow him around rightly or wrongly. And massive interest in him, and that's why it's dominated the headlines in the last few weeks.
We saw him bowl 25 overs as well, one for 80. But it feels like those runs, yes, I know we've said about how much England could do with them, but it felt like he needed that.
Definitely, because I actually wrote a piece at the end of last summer when Stokes got 100 in the 4th test at Old Trafford against India, and it's one of those pieces. If you do this, and you'll have done the same thing many times on the radio, but like you say something and you're like, oh, that's a good point of time. You made it look so silly later on, because I wrote a piece last summer. Stokes got 100 at Old Trafford against India, and I wrote a piece something along the lines of saying everything's falling into place for England before the Ashes. The last thing to tick off was that their captain had got back into some decent form by scoring 100 there. We know how the Ashes went. We know that Stokes struggled throughout the Ashes, and he's had a tough start to the season as well. He had 2 low scores on that dodgy pitch at Lord's. He will definitely, just to find that rhythm. He's quite a batter who likes to find rhythm, doesn't he? I remember very early in his career as well, he went on a run of, was it 3 ducks in 4 innings, 4 ducks, something like that anyway. 2024, I think that was, early 2024. So he's someone who can get in these little ruts. Hopefully, from an England perspective, he's managed to get himself out of that today with... it was a very good pitch at Durham, I should say. A very flat pitch. Durham seemed to have made a bit of a meal of it today. But he's back in the runs and hopefully get some rhythm before, if, as we think may happen, and it's not confirmed yet, returns to the team.
Well, I
next
was going to
week.
say, were there any murmurings about what might happen?
Not up at Durham. So Durham did not seem to know much on that front. They expect him to be picked, but they haven't heard. Obviously, a part of this is that county championship game is due to finish on Monday. The test match starts on Thursday, so that if Stokes was to play a full part in that game in Durham, which looks like he's probably going to be needed in the second innings because Durham was struggling there against their top of the table, not Northampton second. So it's a big game. If Stokes was to play a full part in that game, that's quite a quick turnaround to then get down to Trent Bridge and to join up with the team with everything that's going to come with that this week. Ryan Campbell, we asked him after the game, he's not heard anything about whether that is a possibility that Stokes might be withdrawn from England, but they seem to think up at Durham, and that's similar to what my colleague Stephen Schemmelt, the BBC cricket correspondent, has written similar on the website, that things seem to be going in the direction that Stokes will be back as captain next week in Nottingham.
We'll wait and see. Matt, thank you very much for your thoughts. You can read more from Matt on the BBC Sport website and app. The England players are jogging out, looking energised as you'd expect, having made 200 from their 20 overs here at Headingley, which the crowd have certainly enjoyed. And the Scottish opening pair making their way to the middle, Darcy Carter and Catherine Fraser. We saw Freya Kemp and Danny Gibson make a 61 partnership at the back end of the England innings from 21 balls, thanks to Hypercourse, who's been in touch on that. Says it was England's women's highest run rate partnership of 50-plus runs. The previous best was Nat Sciver-Brunt and Catherine Sciver-Brunt, 64 off 26 against South Africa at Taunton in 2018. Really positive to see the two of those together. Lauren Bell has the ball in hand for England and is instructing her field as Alex Hartley joins us back on commentary, and I'm sure enjoyed seeing England hit out there towards the end.
Oh, absolutely. I think that partnership between Kemp and Gibson is crucial. 61 of just 21 balls. Just think what they could have done if they'd have come in slightly earlier as well. It could have been dangerous, lethal, but it was brilliant to see. And just showing why Danny Gibson in particular has picked up for so much money in the 100. She's able to change a game within the space of 6 balls. I mean, I have never seen a female hit one into the second tier down the ground, and that was ginormous.
The opening pair for Scotland, Darcy Carter and Catherine Fraser, meeting in the middle with hands on hips, bats leaning on them as the umpires converse and wait, no doubt, for the countdown again as the spectators here at Headingley make their way back to their seats after some refreshments in the interval. And Scotland narrowly missing out on the chasing down the West Indies in their game earlier on this week. And there was so much emotion around after that in the Scotland team.
Yeah, they had a brilliant opening partnership as well, didn't they? Fraser, 20 off 11, then Darcy Carter was pretty similar. She ended up on 59 towards the back end, but they got so close. Both of them were dropped early in their innings, but the way that they both play the game, and Carter in particular, it's quite cross-batted, quite an ugly player, but quite effective. You feel with the ball that's going to move away, they might have to just be a little bit more conservative. Obviously, they'll have to take on the power play because they are chasing a mammoth total.
A reminder, 201 to win here at Headingley for Scotland. And a reminder as well, the Netherlands and Pakistan eliminated from the competition after the results earlier on. We're going to get the much anticipated countdown, and we'll hope on this occasion that everyone's moved out of the way behind the bowler's arm and we won't have any unnecessary delays. As Lauren Bell prepares to bowl the first ball to 21-year-old Darcy Carter. In comes Bell, 63 on her back for England, and that one is just put through the offside. It's picked out the fielder in the deep, that backward point. Carter gets off the mark with a single.
Nicely played from Carter, just opening the face of the bat, carving the ball through backward point. The field is set there for it.
Well, at this point of their innings, England were 0 for 1. Amy Jones' first ball was caught in the covers. Kirsty Gordon with the wicket for Scotland. Catherine Fraser now to face her first ball. As Bell is in, and that one is clipped towards mid-on for no run. Sophia Dunkley picks up the ball for England. Applause from around the ground. What do you think England would have been talking about before they went out into the field? The bowlers would have said, thanks very much to the batters. You've set us up nicely.
Yeah, and the batters will have given a little bit of feedback on what works on this surface and what doesn't.
As Bell is in, and that one is driven by Fraser, but not enough on it to beat mid-off. Comes in quickly to Jones behind the stumps, and there's no run for the Scottish pair.
We heard Alice Capsey saying that slower balls worked on this surface, and we saw a couple actually from Kirsty Gordon actually turn. So I'm looking forward to seeing Eccleston and Charlie Dean to see what they can get out of this surface.
Just that single from the first ball so far, as Bell is in to Fraser, who plays that one into the leg side, not timed again, picks out the fielder. Can't get this one away at the moment. Charlie Dean, the stand-in captain for England. That's Siva Brunt missing the next couple of games through injury. And Sophia Dunkley, who was brought into the side to replace her, made 57 at number 3. She just looks like she's maybe doing some stretches at mid-on, is Sophia Dunkley. She prepares as Bell runs in. Oh, that's gone up in the air. Is it over the infield or will it be taken? Oh, it's spilled out. On the run was Danny Gibson trying to catch that one towards the boundary, and it's even run away for 4 as well. So Catherine Fraser gets 4. She hit that one over the offside, and a chance for England goes begging.
Well, should have been taken, really. It's a tough chance. Fraser not aiming to go over extra cover, but ends up going up and over Danny Gibson. They're not the easiest ones to take.
She's on to 4. Scotland 5, as that one is hit over the leg side this time, wide of the long on boundary. And they'll check whether this was a 4 or a 6. The 6 is signalled. So back-to-back boundaries for Scotland, onto 11 without loss in the first over. And Fraser's into double figures on 10.
What a shot that is from Fraser as well. The ball after being dropped. I mean, somehow Danny Gibson did drop it for 4. And then Fraser just pulling the ball into the leg side. As I've just seen an exceptional bit of advertising on the big screen.
Have you?
Our one and only Phoebe Graham catching a packet of crisps on the big screen.
Oh.
As that ball flies for 6, she's flying through the air catching a packet of crisps.
Were they good crisps? Lindsay Smith. The left arm spin to open the bowling. And that one has come off the bottom edge and then just rolled past the stumps to start this second over. I don't think Darcy Carter knew too much about that one. We'll see how successful Lindsay Smith can be on this pitch. Dot ball to start. Into Carter, who's gone up over mid-off and away to the boundary for 4. Well, she got enough on that one that there was never any danger that the fielder at mid-off was going to be able to take the catch. And Carter gets in on the action now with a boundary. Scotland 15 without loss.
That's the way you have to play Lindsay Smith. We've seen so many teams, or so many players, throughout this World Cup get out trying to sweep her in the power play because she has a square leg up, but she's easier to play if you hit her down the ground.
Smith is in, bit of width on that one, and it's cut through the offside by Carter for another 4. She's taking Smith on positively and moving Scotland to 19 without loss, and Carter on to 9.
Another lovely shot. A little bit of width this time from Lindsay Smith, but it's not too wide. But we know these two in the power play are going to take the game on. They are going to try and manipulate that field. We saw them do it against the West Indies and do it successfully. And for Lindsay Smith here, it's just about keeping the stumps in play.
Smith with hair scraped back in a bun, comes around the wicket and that one is dug out into the offside, and it just spilled inside the ring in the covers, which allows the Scottish pair to come through for a single and bring the total up to 20 without loss, with 2 balls of the second over to come. So both Carter on to 10 now, alongside the same score for Fraser, who's going to have the first opportunity to face Smith. Floodlights starting to come on here at Headingley. Smith is in, and that one is slapped back to the bowler. Not the most aesthetically pleasing shot from Fraser. We've had 9 from the over. Smith is in. Use of the feet back down the ground from Fraser. Straight drive away for 6. We're not messing around here at Scotland. 26 without loss after 2.
Well, that'll be Lindsay Smith's most expensive over in this World Cup so far. 15 runs coming off it, especially her first over. Normally, bullet straight, keeps the stumps in play. What Scotland have done really nicely is learn. Hit her down the ground. She swings the ball in. She doesn't spin it. The outside edge isn't in threat. It's the inside edge to Lindsay Smith that's the threat. So if you use your feet, get to the ball, you can play her straight down the ground, and beautifully played that over from this Scotland opening pair, who were way ahead where England were at this stage. England were 5 for 1.
Yeah, England were looking to rebuild after that early wicket of Amy Jones. And Lauren Bell's going to continue as we get this sort of golden glow around Headingley. Bell is in, and that one is out into the offside from Carter for no run. It's sort of half the late evening sunshine and then half the floodlights, which are starting to come on as well. But I bet if you're out in the stands, it's a bit of a picture.
It's never a picture here.
Ah. Never leaving the rivalry away.
No, I actually really like it when the sun sets here and you can see all the city in the background. But don't tell Catherine I said that.
Bell is in, bit of width on that one. It's through to Jones. A couple of dot balls to start with from the third over from Lauren Bell, just to settle things down.
Alice Capsey forgot to bring her sunglasses onto the pitch.
Needs the sunnies on still.
Tell you what, it's quick that from Tilly Courtine Coleman.
Carter waits as Bell is in, and that one is hit up to mid-on. Well fielded by Dunkley, gets the ball in quickly. Scotland still able to come through for the single. 27 without loss.
Good running between the wickets. Just wondering if Charlie Dean's going to go for herself for the next over, or if she's going to go Sophie Eccleston, who needs 1 wicket for 150 in T20s. I mean, that's just ridiculous. She's going to get 5,000 wickets in an England shirt, that girl.
Will she get that 1 wicket tonight? England will be hoping so. In comes Bell. Shorter delivery to Fraser. She was shaping to pull, but it's through to Jones for no run.
That's one thing we didn't see from the Scotland bowlers. Any bouncers in their variations today.
England making a change in the field. Got short third in. Deep backward point. As Bell is in, and that one is whipped into the leg side, and it will be fielded on the boundary at square leg by Smith to prevent the ball going for 4. Another single. This is good from Lauren Bell. Just 2 conceded so far from the over. Scotland 28 without loss.
Really nicely bowled from Lauren Bell. The bouncer followed by the one that swings in towards the right-hander as well.
Carter is on strike on 11 as Bell is in, and that one is up in the air and it's over the field. Couple of bouncers down the ground for 4. So the boundary comes off the final delivery of Lauren Bell's over. 3 gone now. Scotland 32 without loss, chasing 201 set by England to win this. Alex, we mentioned earlier about how many of the Scotland players play domestically here in England, so there's a lot of experience around the grounds where they'll play regularly, and a lot of these players will have come up against each other as well.
I was just actually laughing in my own little mind. I do that a lot. But Darcy Carter doesn't even open the batting for Lancs, even though she opens the batting here for Scotland, and she's definitely proving a point on why she should open the batting at Lancs.
Could do with her, couldn't they, doing that?
Yeah, second bottom of the table, I think. It's not ideal.
Well, there we go. Your question is answered. Charlie Dean captaining the side into the bowling attack, and that one is clipped towards the leg side boundary. It's well parried to keep it in play. They'll come back for a couple of runs. That's good fielding from England. And well, as we've seen at times, all that can be crucial. The couple of runs you save on the edge, the catches you take.
Yeah, nicely done by Danny Gibson.
Shielding her eyes from the sun. Scotland 34 without loss. Dean is in, and that one is played through the leg side, past short fine leg, away for 4 runs. Didn't look like she'd completely got hold of that one, Fraser, but enough on it for another 4 to the score for Scotland, 38 without loss.
It's not a great ball from Charlie Dean, who knows it. 2 fielders out inside the power play. She's got a cow corner and a long on. This was a long hop down the leg side, which is her bad ball when she bowls bad deliveries, Charlie Dean. They do tend to go down the leg side. 1 and over.
This time she's in, and it's a swing and a miss from Fraser.
She gets away with that one. That was short and wide outside the off stump.
Shall add in 3 balls to come. Dean with her sunglasses on, over the wicket to Fraser. She's gone. She was looking to sweep that one from Dean. Captaining England today, gets the first wicket for England, and Scotland 38 for 1 in pursuit of 201 to win here.
Well, it's been a good innings from Catherine Fraser at the top of the order, taking on the power play, but going cross-batted into the onside. What she's done so well today so far is she's gone straight back down the ground. But this time from Charlie Dean, it spins and it spins back and just clips the top of off stump. And Fraser's got Scotland off to a good start there, but I think she'll be annoyed at how she's gone across the line.
Yeah, Catherine Fraser making 23 from 13, being bowled by Charlie Dean. 2 4s and 2 6s in there for her. But the first wicket goes down, and that brings the Scotland captain, Catherine Bryce, to the crease. She made 60 in the first game against Ireland. Another one of the vastly experienced players in this Scotland setup.
I think she'll be annoyed at herself from the previous game as well. She just, early on in her innings, tried to go down the ground.
Dean is in to the right-hander. He plays that one up too long on for a single. 39 for 1. We approach 8:30 on a Saturday evening in Leeds, with fans of both England and Scotland turning up for this Women's T20 World Cup match. As Dean is in on the back foot, Carter just knocks that one into the offside. Dot ball to end the over, 39 for 1 after 4, and England take their first wicket thanks to Charlie Dean.
She's got an incredible knack, habit, skill of constantly taking wickets, Charlie Dean. I think she's the fastest to 50 ODI wickets, and the youngest or something. I've made the youngest up. She's definitely the fastest. Maybe I think she was the youngest because she's still just young.
Well, Lindsay Smith, who went for 15 in the first over that she bowled, is going to swap ends. She's got her back to us as we look on. And Catherine Bryce will face her. The run rate 9.75 as Smith is in, and that one's played back to the bowler by Bryce for no run.
Didn't like that from Bryce. She steps outside the off stump almost like she's wanting to sweep the ball. Please don't sweep Lindsay Smith. You're going to get out LBW or bowled.
Smith is in around the wicket on the back foot this time, punched into the leg side. And they'll come back for 2. Smith will take the bails off. Now, how close was that? They were desperate to come back for the 2. And the ball came into Smith. She whipped the bails off, but I think Carter was home. She was 41 for 1. Bryce now on 3. There's this Scotland flags fly in the crowd. She's again come across to try and sweep that one. Stop it. She's outside the line and she was wrapped on the pad.
I wish I could put a rule in place. You're not allowed to sweep Lindsay Smith unless you're on 35 not out of 15 balls.
Smith is in, and that one is played into the leg side. The mid-wicket comes in to pick it up. They'll get a single to it.
Yeah, Catherine says I should stop telling everyone. So actually my new rule is everyone should sweep Lindsay Smith.
Whose side are you on, Alex?
England's, and a good game of cricket.
42 for 1.
Did I do well there, Simon? Neutral.
Smith is coming around the wicket. That one's played through the offside, wide of the long off boundary by Carter, who's been starved of the strike somewhat in recent balls, but you wouldn't know it. 46 for 1 now on the board for Scotland. Now the run rate is 9.52, the required weight 10.22. Bit of chatter around Headingley as Smith is in on the back foot. That one's played up to the long on boundary by Carter, where it's fielded for a single. So at the end of the 5th over, Scotland are 47 for 1. 1 over of the power play to come. And Scotland need 154 runs if they're going to win this game.
Yeah, they've had a good start, going at just less than 10 and over. A brilliant start with Catherine Fraser, 23 off 13. Just seen a young lad in the crowd absolutely scoffing down an ice cream.
That looked pretty good, didn't it? Charlie Dean, who got the breakthrough for England, is in, and she's played that one back past the bowler. And it's a single. .48 for 1. I mean, it's still warm out there, so it definitely is ice cream weather.
It's always ice cream weather in my world. I didn't have one today, though. I got offered one.
There's still time. As Dean is in, and that one's played uppishly towards the long-on boundary. For another single, rotating the strike at the start of this 6th over. Carter's on 21, Bryce on 5.
I think Crossy nearly had a heart attack when we went to the ice cream van and she said, "Do you want one?" I said, "No, thanks, I'm all right." She was like, "Pardon?"
In comes Dean. On the back foot is Carter, defending that one back to the bowler. Trying to limit Scotland in his final over of the power play. Three balls to come as Dean is in. Carter flicks that one into the leg side towards deep mid-wicket. Just a single again. And that's the 50 up for Scotland. They've lost the wicket of Catherine Fraser, who was bowled by Charlie Dean for 23. She'd got off to a fast start with the bat. Dean bowls, and that one is edged towards short third, who just fumbles it at the first attempt. They get the single. Lauren Bell picks up the ball, throws into Jones. 51 for 1.
I've been a good over this for Charlie Dean. Bowling a second in the power play and the last. Never an easy thing to do.
In she comes, and that one is turned around the corner to short fine leg by Carter. They want the quick single. They'll get through as the ball came in from Dunkley. So at the end of the power play, Scotland are 52 for 1. Your thoughts, Alex? And Henry's going to come back in.
Yeah, I think from an England perspective, it's just being patient. Every time an over only goes for 5 or 6, that run rate gets higher and higher. And as soon as it gets to, well, actually, I think 10s from the start is probably too much for a team like Scotland to chase down. But England will want to be clinical. They'll want to take wickets and they'll want to win in a fashion where they really show what they're about at this World Cup.
Yeah, it's felt has it been loose from England. There was the drop catch early on, but
Oh, it's a tough one, that.
it was a tough one.
It was a tough one.
So, the score stands at 52 for 1. Other results today. We've seen a busy day in the Women's T20 World Cup. Extraordinary game between Pakistan and Bangladesh. Bangladesh winning by 23 runs, despite the fact it wasn't a big target for Pakistan, who fell in the end ended up 100 for 8.
They have done throughout this World Cup, though, haven't they? They've lost wickets in clusters and not really looked great, which them losing today has booted them out the competition.
Indeed, yeah. Which is a very disappointing return this early on for Pakistan. England versus New Zealand, by the way, in the men's test match is ongoing. And I think it's fair to say England are in a spot of bother, as is... It's one of those, as is the way often, that when there's been turmoil off the field, it can either go one way or the other. Do you know what I mean? But England find themselves still needing 281 runs at 182 for 5. But Joe Root's still there in the 70s. The other result from the Women's World Cup, I should say, was Australia hammering Netherlands by 98 runs. If you want to watch any of the best of the action, you can do so on the BBC Sport website and app for listeners in the UK. Also, let me point you in the direction of the Test Match Special podcast on BBC Sounds, where you will find reaction to every day of Test Match cricket, as well as all sorts of other delights. And beyond that, we'll have a wrap-up from around the Women's T20 World Cup at the conclusion of this game and right throughout the tournament as well. Today at the Test is available on the iPlayer, as it is every evening. And that has you just about covered. You're listening to Test Match Special, every ball of every game of this Women's World Cup available for you to enjoy. Scotland then, 52 for 1, required 10.64 and over, as we see a marvellous outfit. We've got a gentleman dressed in as a pack of chips. We've got a gentleman dressed as a hot dog, and then two girls in the middle as alongside them. One has a mustard and one has a ketchup. So my compliments to them for their efforts.
You were trying to think of that joke while you were telling that story, and it took you too long to tell the story.
It took me too long to catch up.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, must start harder. Yeah. Anyway, right, 52 for 1. Have I redeemed myself? Is that better?
Yeah, that was much better.
Yeah. It just took me a while to source them, that's all. It's just, I got there in the end. Phew. What a relief.
There we go, back to your best.
Oh, goodness, it takes a while to warm up. Anyway, here, England and their bottom order have just done a marvellous job. Middle order, let's be perfectly honest. It was a stunning performance from Freya Kemp and Danny Gibson. Now we see Sophie Eccleston into the attack, sweeping the ball out towards Lindsay Smith, who's the right-handed Carter, who's on 24 from 17. Scotland need 148 in 83 deliveries. Now, tms@bbc.co.uk on the email. Neil got in touch earlier on. And we see Eccleston in. That's nicely bowled. Pushed towards mid-off, no run. Dear Alex and Henry, last week I wrote you expressing how daunting the thought of going to any event alone was, hence why it was rare to do such things, remember?
Yes, so we told him, go.
Despite taking the plunge, I still wasn't sure if I'd run the right thing to come along to the game tonight. Oh, bowser! Sophie Eccleston gets through Catherine Price. And that is the wicket that England looked for. When they came into this game, the captain was going to be key. And they have the wicket of the Scotland skipper gone for just 6 off 9 deliveries. And it sees Scotland at 53 for 2 and wobbling just a little bit now.
It's not a great shot, that, from Catherine Bryce. It's 2 games in a row now where she'll probably question the shots that she has played. This time looking to sweep Eccleston, but it wasn't really the ball to be sweeping. And Sophie Eccleston hasn't actually had the success in this World Cup as she has in previous ones, so that will give her so much confidence. Feels like her bowling's been getting better and better and more consistent. But she has been expensive at times, but getting a wicket early will just put a smile on her face.
53 for 2. Eccleston strikes third ball. You can see that part of the highlights that we'll have available for you. Sarah Bryce comes to the middle. Sister of Catherine, full delivery from Eccleston. That's nicely bowled, a little bit quicker that time.
Yeah, gone for the Yorker first up there, Sophie Eccleston.
More from Neil in a moment. Here's Eccleston, round the wicket. Clipped up towards wide, long on for one. They'll think of a second. They're going to push for that second. That's really good running, I must say. And credit to Carter, who's been so proactive with the running in this innings. I'm very impressed by that. So the score stands at 55 for 2. The required rate has gone above 11. Eccleston bowls. It's a very good delivery. Just 3 from the over. And the score stands at 55 for 2 here on Test Match Special. So...
yeah, let me hear from Neil.
Yeah, you need to hear from Neil, then you're going. So, Neil said, I still wasn't sure if I'd done the right thing, getting a ticket for the game tonight. Well, not only did you read my message, you both encouraged me to come and allow myself rare enjoyment. Well, I decided again. No. Well, I'm having an absolute ball in Section G to the right of the Western Terrace, and it begs the question, why have I not done this before, says Neil from Pontefract. Neil, I'm so pleased. Honestly, I went out for dinner on my own last night, and I had a lovely old time. I had a book with me, sat down, and actually I would never do that normally, and actually I thought in the spirit of what you were doing tonight, I was going to go and do that, and I'm really pleased that I did, because it just shows that sometimes you suspect you're the funniest person you know, and you can confirm it when you go for dinner on your own.
Well done, Neil.
Right, Danielle Gibson. I jest, but I'm really, really pleased you're having a good evening. TMS at bbc.co.uk. Danny Gibson, who hit a quick fire, to put it mildly, 30 off 11. Bowls, good delivery, wicket to wicket, and it's dug out by Carter, who gets one into the onside, and England beginning to turn the screw just a touch. Catherine Siever-Brunt's taken a seat alongside me.
Oh my God, there's so many babies at this
Lots
ground.
of babies.
That fills me with fear, because they should just be asleep. Oh my goodness, another baby. A man desperately trying to get
I
his
thought you were going
baby
to say it filled
sleep.
you with fear because, you
honestly,
know,
if they're awake any later than 7:30,
Nearly 8:45. Oh, it's well bowled again from Gibson. It's full, it's straight. It is simple as a ploy, but it is very, very hard to deal with. 56 for 2. Bryce on strike, has a little look around, sees a field with a mid-wicket on the edge of the circle, a deep backward square, a fine leg, a deep point, and a deep third. Next ball is helped around the corner towards that backward, no, rather down towards fine leg, and Dunkley, who throws in almost in a bowling fashion.
Yeah, she's actually tried to improve her throwing, and the way that she tells herself to do what they've asked her to do is to do that.
It's like a sort of
bowl it in. Yeah.
It's like a slingshot.
Yeah, she's not actually bowling it in, but it's like a head. The head movement is somewhat bowling it in. It does look a bit weird, I must admit.
Next delivery is worked into the onside, and this is where the problem begins for Scotland a little bit, when the field can spread and England can just get a little bit on the defensive, and not defensive in the sense of trying to just purely limit the run scoring, but I more mean they can build the pressure by knowing they've got so many runs on the board. 143 needed from 74.
Yeah, you get 3 spinners who are in the top 10 in the world, with allowed 4 out. You're in a bit of bother.
Next delivery from Gibson is whipped off the pads down towards, again, Dunkley with that funny throwing action. In the shadows down to our left at fine leg.
They managed to punish Lindsay Smith early on, and I think where they should learn to cash in is Gibson, Bell and Kemp with the seam. I think Charlie's quite canny. She's onto it today. Her pace, her line and length is pretty ideal, and Sophie seems to have found that too. So that's where I would look to cash in.
Next ball. Oh! Driven back towards Danny Gibson, who put out a left hand. It was not far away from sticking to what would have been one of the great Corton bowls. 60 for 2, 8 overs gone, and Scotland need 141 of 72 balls.
Yep, Carter just feeling, that was a boundary ball. Last ball over, you generally want to finish with a boundary and set the next over off with some momentum, so she had some width. She went for it, but the length was good, so it hit the top of the bat. It still came out powerfully, and Danny Gibson in follow-through just chucked out her left hand there and didn't stick, but might have saved 3.
Yep. 60 for 2. Scotland need 141 from 72 deliveries. What about that power that was added by Kemp and Gibson?
Ferocious.
Here's Eccleston, start of a new over. It's clipped down the ground for 1, up towards long on. I mean, just how much of a threat is that in this tournament?
It was a sight to behold, wasn't it? They were striking it so clean, especially Freya from ball 1 out the middle of the bat. It was just striking it so clean, so nice.
This is spooned in the air. Who's under it? No one, I don't think. It'll drop maybe 4 or 5 yards short of Alice Capsey. She's running in as quick as she possibly could from long on.
Yeah, it was one of those partnerships, wasn't it, that we've been all dying for, and one England needed to have happened going on the later stages.
Next ball on the ground towards that fielder in the deep. Capsey's being kept busy. 63 for 2, 3 singles at the start of the over, and it's now 22 balls since we've seen a boundary.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the start of Sophie's spell. She's just found the stumps nearly every ball.
Next delivery does so again. It goes down the ground and once more will drop just short of Capsey. And so what does it do psychologically as a bowler when you know that there's a partnership like that can come in and score you something, 61 off 21 today?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Eccleston in. Bowser! Leg stump, rock back. Carter goes for 29 and Sophie Eccleston's got 2 for 7 in no time. She's bowled so well today, mixing the pace, targeting the stumps, getting the wickets, and Scotland are 64 for 3.
She's basically just got the rewards of what her plan was tonight. Everybody's plan is to hit the wickets here at Headingley, and Sophie has literally, like I said, not left the wickets. They've had to do something different because her pace, her length, her line especially, has just been spot on. So they've had to change their plan, doing something that... Carter's gone to a shot there that she would not have preferred. It brought Catherine Bryce into a false shot that she definitely should not have played. And yeah, she's got into their heads, and so she should have, because this isn't just like luck or, the batters having brain farts. It's also immaculate bowling. She's bowling and what Al said earlier, she seems to be getting better and better in the tournament. She is. She's gotten better since the start of the warm-up games. From the very start, even her attitude, even, different aspects of her game have improved. She's just sort of drip-fed it, It's not just been like from the last game. It's been like a 6-game period, and I just hope it continues in this direction, because she's looking a handful for anyone at the minute.
And enormous congratulations to Sophie Eccleston, who in this innings has passed 150 T20 international wickets. Oh, and that one almost bowls her as well. McCall, a new batter, gets a right old tangle. Goes for Amy Jones's legs, and they'll get through for a bye. Yeah, 64 for 3. I mean, that's an incredible achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, so good. Al said earlier she picks at wickets for fun. Yeah, she's just a wicket machine, and even though teams have been allowed to figure her out in recent times, she's got an answer for it now.
Yeah,
she's reached that milestone, hasn't she? And she just seems to, I think this is the start of this season was the start of Soph sort of reinventing herself in many ways, and long may it continue. I really hope that switch is flicked.
Well, she's bowled beautifully today, again.
That was a good old fast Yorker. That's a good 7-mile-an-hour change.
Freya Kemp's going to have a bowl, having scored 39 not out of 16 in that partnership with Danny Gibson. Left arm over the wicket from the far end. Nice shot. That's inventive. A little ramp from McCall down towards short fine leg where there is nobody there. No one at home, and it goes to the boundary. Lovely shot. 69 for 3.
I literally said catch because the angle of which she paddled it was just straight to short fine, but there's literally no one there. So fair play. Good shot.
11,500 in at Headingley. Western Terrace very well populated. Freya Kemp in the sunshine, a shadow cast of about 25 yards now. She runs in, pace taken off it, driven towards mid-off. There's thought of a run, but a good decision not to go for it.
Yeah, good that from Sophie Eccleston there mid-off in the ring. She's attacked the ball. Just put the Scottish batters off from taking that quick single. So girls looking alert in the field as well. Good little change of pace from Kemp.
England at this point, by the way, we're only 8 runs ahead of where Scotland are. And only 1 further wicket down.
With an enormous flurry at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that is the thing. If you're in...
60 odd off 20 odd.
Yeah, and again, just to go back to that point, if you're a team setting a target, you're going to be aware of that too.
Yeah.
The power that can come. Next ball from Freya Kemp. Again, with the pace taken off, it is just gently pushed towards deep point where Lindsay Smith will run in quickly to field.
Yeah, I guess as they move along, set into the semis, you know, if they make it there, if they find themselves on a good pitch, their opposition are going to be thinking, you know, let's keep these in.
Yeah.
Let's keep potentially, you know, Nat and Heather in on. Nat and Amy somewhat slower than Kemp and Gibbo.
Next delivery is beating the edge of the bat. Amy Jones up to the stumps, sees it thudding into the white gauntlet. She was out first ball of the game, Jones.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to get someone like that, weirdly, it's going to be their very first ball, isn't it? It's not really T20 cricket. It's not really taking a look. I know, you know, my dad will be saying, have 3 balls.
Yeah. Spooned up in the air. Who wants it? It goes out towards mid-off. Well, Sophie Eccleston perhaps lost it in the sunshine or just was distracted by the fielder over her left shoulder, but I feel like she didn't really go for that, oddly. Fielding, waiting at mid-off.
It was Sophie Eccleston's from the off, and she looked at Charlie as if to say, I thought that was yours, but no, that's a catch every day of the week, and if that happens against Australia, it'll be punished.
72 for 3. Slap towards mid-on. Charlie Dean will pick up, take aim, throw and just miss. She had time to take aim, and you were expecting to see the bails light up and ignite this Yorkshire evening, but on this occasion missed. And so the equation, 128 from 60 balls. England finding their way to get this done now. And Sophie Eccleston in particular has been outstanding. We're going to see Charlie Dean back into the attack. 2 overs, 1 for 12, and we've had an email from somebody who calls himself the Chaos Gremlin.
Okay.
He says, I'm starting to think Charlie Dean is the quiet superstar of England. That doesn't sound very chaotic or gremlin-like. Sounds rather nice. Barely noticed for years, and she's been notching up wickets by the shed load. Oh, looking for another one there, but instead it's driven brutally by Sarah Bryce through the covers for 4.
Yeah, the rare occasion that Charlie offers up that much width and length. It's too full, too wide, and she's just absolutely smacked that through extra cover. Nothing anybody could do about that except stand and watch it go to the boundary.
77 for 3. Scotland need 124 from 59. Dean down the leg side. Jones will take that shuffling to her left, and wide is signalled. I don't know what your email's done here, I'm afraid, Chaos Gremlin. But it seems to have put the mockers on Charlie
The
Dean.
gremlin's in her.
Has a bit.
Hey.
Dean again. Bowls, and that's flogged into the leg side for 4 more, I reckon. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, it is.
I think Danny Wyatt-Hodge there just doubted herself diving on those rock-hard practice wickets right on the boundary. They go all the way up to the boundary up there. They're absolutely horrible to dive on. I think she wasn't really fancy. She should have stopped that, definitely. You know, nothing's easy, but a player of her calibre should be stopping that every day of the week. But Charlie, it wasn't a bad ball. It's a good ball from Charlie. It's just a good shot. And the fast square here at Headingley aided that all the way to the boundary.
82 for 3. 119 needed from 58. 9 off the over so far. And the huge swing from Bryce goes all of 2 yards to her right.
Yeah, I think she's, you know, sensing the fact that they need to get on with it, and there needs to be a spike somewhere, knowing how big England went at a certain point. She thought, you know, we probably might need to start that a few overs early.
And again, Charlie Dean with a delivery that does too much in terms of tangling things up for Bryce. Following her, she hits it against her own pads, then Amy Jones throws at the non-striker's end as a single is scrambled. Now, all around this ground, spectators still in the short sleeves and having a lovely old time. I mean, it's been a great scene, this, and it's been a fitting occasion for the first meeting of these sides in Britain for 25 years.
It's nuts,
mad, isn't it?
That is nuts.
Mad. Dean over the wicket with the off spin. And it's helped round the corner by McCall, who can't quite replicate the invention of that little paddle that brought about 4 runs. She's only 6 from 5 now. And the score is 84 for 3 with a requirement of 117 or 55.
I think some of that is down to the calibre of Scotland. Never really presented a side quite like this.
Well, that's not a good ball from Charlie Dean. She knows it as well. Coming round the wicket, it's a half tracker on the hips. And Sarah Bryce says, thank you very much. End of the over. It's an expensive one, that. 15 from it, 88 for 3. The required rate just over 12.5. Scotland need 113 from 54. Thank you so much for joining us evening. Good evening to Martin Stiles, who's listening. James, who's had a busy day scoring. Catherine, over to you. Some thoughts from you, and then Victoria.
Yeah, so as I was saying before, I think this is the best Scottish. You're talking about 25 years. I'd say this is the best Scottish lineup in the last 25 years, and I think they're just producing some competitive cricket now, and cricket they can be confident about because of that injection into our domestic league, because of that injection into the franchise cricket. We've got 5 really good players here, and then a wealth of youth to explore from. So I think, you know, that's testament to it and why we're actually missing it now.
Gibson bowling, attempted pull, which is top-edged and will trickle away towards the fine leg boundary for 4.
Yeah, with Amy Jones stood up there to the stumps and a bouncer coming in from Danny Gibson, just a top edge. We've seen so many of those actually, and all the bouncers in this tournament seem to just be flying directly over the top of the keeper. And I mean, with Danny Gibson, you would always want the keeper up, so I think that's just your luck.
Just have to take it. It's 92 for 3, and this one's clipped into the leg side. It should be caught on the boundary. It is. There's the 4th wicket for England. Scotland lose Megan McCall for 10. And after the top edge comes the catch in the deep. And they are 92 for 4.
Yeah, just following on from Sarah Bryce there, we're trying to get on with it a little bit earlier from when England did. But probably recognising that they probably can't go at the pace of what Kemp and Gibson did, so having to pull it back a bit earlier. Yeah, just being encouraged by Sarah Bryce. She's gone for a couple of big shots, got away with one. On the second one, that shot was actually quite a good strike, probably premeditated the short ball. Pulled it nicely, but there's just one out on the leg side and directly to it, and that's just how it goes sometimes, I'm afraid. Good catch from Freya Kemp.
Yeah, those two combined well with the bat for England, Kemp and Gibson. They combine for a wicket. Gibson 1 for 9 now from the 1 over and 2 balls that she has bowled. And Scotland 92 for 4.
Yeah, Gibson's going to be that kind of bowler for England, where she bowls a lot of cross seams. I don't know if that's because she's scared about moving the ball sideways and just wants to rely on, if it's just a hit in the stumps situation, she doesn't want to create any other sort of movement. So you'll see a lot of back of the length short pitch bowling from her.
Chatterjee's a new batter for Scotland, and she's tucked that one into the leg side. It's found a gap.
Yeah, the one thing she will have to be wary of, though, when we get to the business end with these better sides, is they will front foot pull these, and if she's only got that deep square out, with her lack of pace, they can just plonk that towards the cow mid-wicket region. So something just to be wary of moving forward as the wickets get slower.
Sarah Bryce is a set batter on 22. As Gibson is in, she's gone over the field in the offside, and it will just plug and be picked up in the deep by Lindsay Smith as they come back for a couple of runs. 95 for 4. Sarah Bryce, as well as the experience playing domestically here with the Blaze. She's played in the likes of the Big Bash, the Women's Premier League 100. It's that franchise cricket experience you were talking about, Catherine.
Yeah, so good. I'm really intelligent. Doctor level intelligent.
As this time Gibson is in, and that's hit out towards Deep point for a single.
Oh, Al, remind me what she did at uni, or what she's doing at uni. Sarah Bryce. It's probably something to do with NASA. Or brain surgery, something mental. Something massive.
Juggling the studies of cricket.
Yeah, and she does it so well. And she's, honestly, isn't she one of the most laid back, polite, sweet people ever.
96 for 4 as Gibson is into Chatterjee, who rolls that one along into the offside for another single. So wicket going down in that Danny Gibson over. Scotland 97 for 4. They need 104 more if they're to win this one with 12 overs through their innings.
Yeah, wicket in the first ball, but still 9 from the over. So Scotland telling England there, we're not giving in just yet. We're still going to keep playing our shots. We're still going to keep taking risks, because that's what we want. That's what we expect from every team in this tournament. No one's going to lie down. We want to see people. I'd rather see teams all out for 50, trying to chase a massive score, than falling 80 runs short,
plodding along.
Yeah, and getting yourself a nice little 50, a red inker off 50 balls. Yeah, we don't want to see that. We've progressed so far.
Well, at this stage of their innings, England were 106 for 3, but we saw the big hitting of Freya Kemp and Danny Gibson towards the back end of their 20 overs. Lauren Bell back into the attack for England. 0 for 17 from the 2 that she's bowled, and she is in off the hips of Chatterjee into the leg side. Past square leg for a single.
She'll be desperate to change her bowling figures right now. Obviously against the Irish, she would have wanted to be more successful in that game and gain some confidence. So going into this game, she'd be thinking the same thing. So desperate to try and rectify her figures now in the rest of the innings. But Sarah Bryce loves pace on, and she loves width. So yes, she must bowl in the channel. Not the channel, but the stumps.
Bell is into Bryce, who's slapping that one into the leg side, not timed. Long on comes in to collect. Single added to the total, 98 for 4.
Yeah, definitely not the channel. Don't bowl that. Just TV shot to Ailsa Lister there. Unfortunately, on the side with an injury which will keep her out of the 100 as well, which is devastating.
Yeah, she had the boot on. We saw in the warm-up. She was one of 2 Scotland players to miss out through injury. Rachel Slater was the other one who picked up an injury in the game against the West Indies. As Bell is on the way into Chatterjee, who's gone uppishly into the leg side. It'll bounce in front of the fielder at deep square leg for a single. Lindsay Smith out there in the deep, and that is the 100 up for Scotland. It's come halfway through the 13th over. Sarah Bryce has made 26 and Chatterjee has made 4. They're 100 for 4.
It's no too small players to miss that, is it? It's two big players. Lister can hit the ball just as well as Danny Gibson, and a real talent in the Under-19 World Cup. And yes, Catherine Slater always quite reliable with the ball, so big loss.
Bell is in.
Whoa.
Width on that one. That is going all the way, surely. Well, that just came off the bottom edge of the toe of the bat, really.
No way. That was the meat.
Gone into the offside for 6.
That was pounded. I just said before, didn't I, you do not want to bowl short and wide to Sarah Bryce. And she's absolutely tucked into that. It's almost with like a tennis racket sort of, I don't know what they're called now, not into out. Well, yeah, into out. And just hit it on the up. That's an absolutely beautiful shot. I can't even call how good it was. It's just great.
106 for 4, and this time she's playing towards deep square leg for a single. Good recovery from Lauren Bell with that penultimate ball of the over. 107 for 4.
Yeah, smart idea to take pace off. Not, dwell too much on such a powerful strike from Sarah Bryce. Going to the pace off, using her fielders intelligently and just moving on. It's quite hard when something like that happens.
Lauren Bell on the way in for a final delivery, and moving across her stumps this time was Prerna Chatterjee at the end of the over. It's a dot ball to finish, 107 for 4.
Yeah, things like that are going to happen. She just dropped that 20 miles an hour. That is nuts, the change of pace. Seeing Chatterjee get so far across, just followed her, bowled it a little bit fuller, right out the back of the hand, and Yeah, well bowled that. I said she wanted to recover, you know, that and get her figures back to a respectable amount. And you know, she could. Even though she hasn't, she can take. There's moments there that she can take from that. These are all learnings, aren't they, moving forward? And I just hope she takes them in the right vein, because I know what it's like to kill yourself about how you've performed and really analyse each and every ball. So yeah, I hope she can look at the positives from this.
Lindsay Smith to bowl her third over of the game. Use of the feet from Chastity as they come through for the single.
I have a feeling that Charlie Dean wasn't really thinking she was going to go for the run out. It was sort of like a delayed response, thinking maybe, you know, just let them have the one. But yeah, she could have had her out there quite easily.
Sarah Bryce at the non-strikers then now on 34 as Smith is in. That one's clipped into the leg side. It bounced in front of the fielder and picked up on the bounce by Kemp out in the deep. They come through for a single. Rotating the strike well as Scotland. They've lost 4 wickets with the 109 on the board.
Who would you say is the best fielder in the world? Oof. You can answer that in a couple of balls.
Smith is in around the wicket, and that one is played to short third on the bounce. There's no run there. In just the women's game?
Yeah, just the women's game. We can have an over to think about it if you like. There's
you.
many teams in the world. It can be someone rogue as well.
As Smith is in, it's dancing down the wicket is Chatterjee. Is she caught on the boundary? She is. Is Bryce even? Sarah Bryce facing that one. She was going big against Lindsay Smith. It's a good catch above the head in the deep on the leg side. And Bryce goes for 34 from 24.
Yeah, it was a good strike from Brycey. She got it right out the middle of the bat, but the length was what did it for Lindsay Smith. She came down to try and hit her over the top for 6, I imagine, and let Lindsay just dragging back the length and bowling a little bit quicker. So she had to hit it on the up and out to there. It's just quite a big hit. So it was a good catch in the end, right on the boundary.
Yeah, Danny Gibson
overhead.
out there.
Yeah, so fielding looking good today for nearly, 96%? I can't really fault it. I mean, there was a drop catch early on, but it would have been, a very good catch.
Yeah, Danny Gibson early on the run, looking into the sky, maybe just lost that one, but she's held on to that one. And it's, when we look at the differences between the sides in the field, there was a couple of drops for Scotland.
And back to my question, who's the best fielder? Come on, stop doing that. The
wicket is distracted.
Is it because you want to say an Aussie and I'm just not going to be happy about that?
Well, I don't want to make you angry.
No, God, everybody's scared of me.
I don't know. I think
I know I'm a big lass, but I'm soft, aren't I, Phoebe? I
think
can tell
it's
you
really
mine.
difficult. Well, go on then, tell me yours.
Yeah, Lindsay Smith, but Freya Kemp not far behind.
No, yeah.
But I wouldn't call her the best in the world at the minute.
Potential?
Yeah, I think with Lindsay, right, she's absolutely rapid. I mean, that's a God-given talent. That's not something you can coach it, but not to that level. Then will dive forward. Always. She'll lose some teeth to catch the ball. So there's this difference between having bent elbows and extended elbows. And it's a real in-your-mind sort of catching technique that not a lot of people can do. She does it. No, she doesn't care. Can dive to the left and right because left-handers generally are quite ambidextrous. And catching. I don't want to jinx her right now, I feel I really am gonna. But she doesn't drop catches. Whoa, I really
have you put the commentator's curse on her?
I know. And then to the ball, stops the most amount of twos ever. Costa said she's rapid, she cuts angles. She doesn't run round the ball, she runs at the ball. So I'm just saying, you tell me someone was better.
I wouldn't.
So a lot of people
I'm
say
never
Ash Gardner,
disagree.
and she dropped 2 howlers the other night. And
yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I know she's English, I get that. But I've seen enough.
But do you want her in the field or do you want her bowling?
Yeah, I think she's better at fielding than bowling, even though she's literally the #1 T20 bowler in the world. That's a funny statement, isn't it?
So Pippa Sproul, who is one of those 2 players who came into the Scotland game, who came into the game for Scotland, I should say, is joining Chastity at the crease. 109 for 5.
I think we're going to see some downtowns, some attempted downtowns. That over mid-off looks tempting. Sophie Eccleston in the ring. We're needing so many runs, you'd be running at her.
The teenager waits, and she's played that one through the point region. And at least a single. Will it be cut off in the field? It will. It's well stopped on the boundary by Wyatt Hodge, diving to her left-hand side to prevent the 4 runs. It's a couple added to the score, 111 for 5.
Yeah, good effort from Dan there, putting the yards in and then doing that what she hates, diving to the left, but she's recovered that and headed, putting the yards in also and helping her mate out.
Smith into Sproul, who is playing into the offside. They scamper through for a quick single. It was good work there by Smith. And at the end of the 14th over, Scotland are 112 for 5.
If she'd have got a direct hit then, I could have really just stood up and left
I
the
rest
room,
my
couldn't I?
case. Drop the mic and go.
Damn. It was an awkward one. Anyway,
yeah, that would have been a good way to exit, as it is. Thank you very much.
I'll let you have another left arm spinner.
So we've got 6 overs left. Scotland chasing 201 to win here. Lost another wicket in pursuit of that. You need 89 more runs. And Freya Kemp, having been involved with a catch earlier on in the innings, is going to bowl. 8 went from her first over. On her way into Sproul, the left arm. And that one's clipped into the leg side by the youngster, who comes back for a couple of runs. Making a T20 international debut back in January. And now she finds herself at the World Cup. $114 for 5. As Kemp is in, moving across her stumps is Sproul to play that one into the offside for a single. 115 for 5. Did you want to add to the fielding discussion, Alex?
We just had a good laugh passing the headset over. I was like, I wasn't quite as good at Lindsay Smith in the field. I used to be scared of Catherine when I was fielding because I was rubbish. And if I misfielded one of Catherine, I'd be like, don't look at her for 4 working days.
Kemp in over the wicket. Oh, that's skied. It should be caught. Will it be Kemp off her own bowling? It is. That's the 6th wicket down. And Chatterjee has to go for 5. That one went a long way up in the air. Not a lot of distance on it. All Kemp needed to do was come through on the follow through to take the catch. And Scotland 115 for 6 now in the 15th over.
Yeah, pretty simple from Freya Kemp. The only thing there was it going to be Amy Jones or Freya Kemp? And she said, get out of the way, I'll take it. Pretty simple in the buckets for Kemp. And Chatterjee just trying to get things going, looking for that boundary, top edge into the night sky. And Scotland here are falling in a bit of a heap.
So 7 for... Oh, 5 even, sorry for...
Kirsty Gordon's getting booed. Is that booze? Is that booze? Kirsty Gordon's just been booed. She's being booed. Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Just trying to hear over the music.
That's so funny.
So Chatterjee going for 5 and Kirsty Gordon, who did spend time representing England. There was a big cheer there. As Kemp is into Gordon, that's spooned up in the air, but it will drop safely in the offside for no run.
Surely not. Although, to be fair, cricket fans are savage. When I went back to Old Trafford to play, once I'd moved to the Welsh Fire, I got booed.
Oh.
Yeah, so it happens.
Sometimes you never know. There's nothing about the name Kirsty Gordon, is there, that would invoke some kind of chant that sounds the same. But it did. There was a distinct noise as Kemp is in, and that one's pushed along to mid-on for no run.
We've figured out what Sarah Bryce's done at uni.
What did she do?
A master's in maths.
Oof, rather her than me.
So I reckon she knows what pi is and all that.
She probably knows that it's 86 to win as Kemp is in. Down the leg side, wide called.
Whereas I only know cheese and onion.
116 for 6.
When games get boring, you've got to find your own fun, you know?
There's a bit... Well, there's booing going on now, but I can't quite work out why. As Kemp is coming in, and that one is clipped uppishly into the leg side by Gordon for a single.
Okay, normally when there's booing, something will be going on in the Western Terrace.
At the end of the over, 117 for 6. Maybe there's some kind of beach ball that's been confiscated. Oh, they want a wave. That's the booing. Not for Kirsty Gordon. 117 for 6. Glad we've got that controversy cleared up as Henry's going to come back in.
There we go. Something is going on. Security guards taking stuff off them. That's why. So they can't make any beer snakes. So they're getting booed. So I'm hoping that's why we thought Kirsty Gordon was being booed, because I thought it would have been a bit savage otherwise. I love it this time of night though, the Western Terrace.
A bit lively, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It gets lively. So 117 for 6. And England are going to win this match by some margin with 16.8 the required rate per over. And Sophie Eccleston still with 2 to bowl, having taken 2 for 7. And she comes in wheeling her arms around now. It's tucked away off the hips as a run is attempted. It's a decent run as well. And Dunkley, whose throw is not the strongest in the side, is a little too delayed. As we see Eccleston again. Oh, it's all kicking off.
Oh, now there's a blow-up ball.
A beach ball.
Yeah.
Here is Eccleston again, and very nearly bowls her.
It can be a really savage place that I got hit.
Yeah, actually.
I got hit with an inflatable in there once.
Yeah, that can be, yeah.
Straight around the face.
And they're quite scratchy if they get the little end bit. Yeah. Next ball from Eccleston is pushed defensively, and there is no run. Are you being silly, Alex? I can always tell when you're being silly.
No, I was explaining to Catherine what shape of inflatable hit me around the face when I was in the Western Terrace a few years ago.
Oh, okay. Here is Eccleston, as this is driven off the outer half of the bat straight to Lauren Bell, but quick setting off from the non-striker's end is Kirsty Gordon to get home and get on strike. And 119 for 6 is the score, with 82 needed off 26. So Eccleston has now gone just 2 for 9. Forward and slapped up towards wide long off, and Charlie Dean. Scotland 120 for 6. How would you rate the performances of the two sides today, Alex?
Yeah, I think England have been exceptional, as they have been in the start of this World Cup.
Eccleston bowls. This is flogged into the onside without perfect timing, to say the least. And it will just be the one run.
I think they had the perfect game against Sri Lanka to open up their account here, and then Ireland, I would have liked them to be a little bit more clinical, and today they've not put a foot wrong really. Yes, there was a drop catch from Gibson and one from Eccleston that I don't know if counts as a drop if she didn't get a hand on it.
Well, it's a difficult one. Unless you go for it, it counts as a drop.
But other than that, I think they've been brilliant. And look, Bell and Smith and Dean got taken down in the power play, but they've all come back nicely. And for Scotland, they went out with the bat in hand and were fearless. They took advantage of the power play. And then I guess for Scotland at the death, I think they just got things slightly wrong and planned slightly wrong.
Or were England too good?
Both.
Right.
You know, Gibson and Kemp showing exactly why they've been picked up for the highest amount of money in the 100.
Next ball is chipped down the ground. It'll drop short of Alice Capsey on the bounce. We start the 17th over bowled by Charlie Dean, her final over, with the requirement 79 from 23 now. But it's been, in the main, quite a professional display from England, would you say? Dean bowls, help round the corner. That's a nice looking shot. That's going to bring 4. Kirsty Gordon, inventive batting. That's really cleverly done. 126 for 6. And the ball goes racing to the fine leg boundary in the football stand end.
Yeah, nicely played. Just steps outside off stump. It's not your conventional sweep. She doesn't get down on one knee. She almost shovels it behind square for 4.
Here is Charlie Dean again in the long sleeves, 24 on her back, and swept firmly on the bounce out towards Danny Wyatt-Hodge, who will sling the ball in from the deep in front of the Western Terrace. What would you give Scotland's performance? How would you rate that?
I think they've played well. Maybe a few demons from the West Indies game still lingering.
Dean bowls, again targeting fine leg, and I think that's going to be 4 more. It's a really good shot, that. This time it's Sproul, and it goes racing to the boundary, beating the dive of the helpless, not hapless, not hopeless, but helpless, really, Sophia Dunkley, who's doing her absolute best to try and stop it, but just can't get close. It's good placement again.
Yeah, it's high risk, high reward.
Next ball spanked down the ground for 1. And that'll bring the total to 132 for 6 with 1 ball left of the over.
So Scotland will go 1 from 3 after this game, but doesn't mean to say they're out of the World Cup. New Zealand obviously in a very similar situation.
Indeed, and only just got over the line.
There's only 2 teams that are out of this World Cup, and Netherlands and Pakistan being those 2.
That's nicely driven, but it's fun, isn't it? Sometimes the ones who time best are the ones that go straight and quickest to the fielders, and Kirsty Gordon throws her head back in frustration as Heather Knight just has to crouch down and pick up at cover. It's 132 for 6, 17 overs gone. And Scotland need a notional 69 from 18 balls.
They've got a tough end to, I guess, their group, with New Zealand next and then finishing with Sri Lanka. But they are 2 teams that Scotland could win. You know, New Zealand haven't got any confidence. You can tell by the way they played Ireland last night. I was a bit of a shame for Ireland, really, because all Prendergast and Gabby Lewis so close to getting them over the line, but it was almost like that small nation collapse. They couldn't quite get there.
As soon as that partnership was broken, it
just felt like curtains, didn't it?
Lindsay Smith, the bowl, who's taken 1 for 28 from her 3 overs. It's been one of her vintage nights, but she tries to make amends for that. First ball comes off the outer half of the bat from Sproul and will go out to the offside, where it's fielded by... Who is that there fielding at backward point?
Heather.
So it is. The one that's been playing for England for 15 years.
She's just in an unusual position.
Yeah, I was going to say. Thanks, Al. Smacked away into the leg side. Could be 4. It's a lovely shot. Kirsty Gordon walloping it between long on and deep mid-wicket. And you can always sense the frustration from Lindsay Smith because she's bowling a lot quicker than she normally would. Is that fair?
As in through a run-up? Or
yeah, the whole sort of thing feels rushed and frustrated.
There has been a bit of that today, and there's been moments where Scotland have played really nicely. Playing straight down the ground's been brilliant.
Again, it's a quick ball. Oh, it's stopped. Possibly a drop. A harsh one to call that, but it was hit very firmly by Gordon. Cross-batted, went low down. Smith dives. It may have gone in and gone out, but it would have been a screamer if she'd taken it.
It was 56 miles an hour, that one, from Lindsay Smith.
Yeah, it was almost a sort of medium pacer. She crouches down with 3 balls left of her spell. 64 needed from 15 for Scotland. An enormous swipe from Gordon.
I respect it.
It'll drop into the onside and they'll run through for 1.
I do respect it. I think Scotland can take lessons from, obviously, the West Indies game. And look, Sarah Bryce, Catherine Bryce, they'll be thinking, if we could have just got in and got 10, we would have won that game. But for here, they've played across the line a little bit too much.
Smith hammers it in. It goes out towards mid-off. If you hit the stump, she's gone. Ooh, and it wasn't far away for Sophie Eccleston. It's got a good arm from mid-off. 1 ball left of the 18th over. 139 for 6. This game, it never felt from the halfway stage on that Scotland were in line to win it.
No, there were 10's too many. 10's is too many, for the world's best teams to chase down.
Yeah.
If England were playing Australia and got 200 on the board, you'd be thinking they were the favourites at the halfway stage.
Next delivery is helped into the leg side. On the bounce, it'll go out.
Oh, well fielded.
What a piece of fielding out there by Danny Gibson. Diving goalkeeper style to parry the ball towards Freya Kemp. And it was that duo, England's all-rounders, that caused such carnage at the end of the innings. With England batting 61 off 21.
That's outstanding from
Brilliant,
Gibson.
wasn't it? Brilliant.
In the deep, showing her all-round athleticism. Full-length dive. The ball skidded off one of those wicket ends, one of those practice wickets, so she's had to dive behind her to stop the boundary. England's fielding has been so good in this World Cup, especially their ground fielding, the boundary saves. Been right up there with the other teams.
Makes such a difference. You know, it's something that we've been praising Australia for so long. And it's something that England can really hang their game on a little bit more, which is just such an asset. Again, we spoke about the power of the middle order, but having the power of good fielding. Eccleston bowls, well played. Sproul, that goes down towards fine leg, a little step across the stumps and helped on its way for 4. Exposed the stumps, it was risky, but this partnership's now 30 off 23.
That's brilliantly played, isn't it? I tell you what, they've back end of this innings, they've swept Charlie Dean so well, and now Sophie Eccleston stepping right outside the off stump. It's off the stump, so it is high risk. I suppose at this stage of the game, you really have got nothing to lose.
Well,
Yes,
indeed.
the game, but you know what I mean.
56 off 11. That's angled towards short third. Lauren Bell throw and rather delayed. It gets to the non-striker's end and there is a single easily accrued. So 146 for 6 the score, Alex, as we're joined by Catherine Sciver-Brunt once again.
Hello.
Crowd are up, enjoying it.
Yep. Kirsty Gordon, she's very useful with the bat, isn't she? But not in a, you know, chasing high score kind of situation. She'll get you out of a pickle any day of the week, but a little bit beyond these two, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh!
Away again. Oh, it's a lovely shot once more. This time Kirsty Gordon with a step across the stumps and helping it over the shoulder.
Said she
4
was
more.
handy.
She's more than handy. She's a good player, Kirsty Gordon.
She is. She's always been underestimated with the bat, to be fair, and she's got a bit of metal about her. She's a very passionate Scottish young lady, and I've always wanted her in a fight. She's a good person to be on the field. Not good to play against, a bit like me. Bit savage with the words.
I would put, there's quite a few of you I'd put into one category.
Imagine if we made an 11.
Here we go. There's a next delivery is hit towards Freya Kemp at backward point.
Let's make a savage 11.
And it goes
Go on then.
into the gloves. Should we describe what's happening in the game rather than interrupting your conversation, you two?
Well, that's what happens when you put 2 people on it.
One taken, 1-5, 1
Sorry,
for
I got
6.
carried away.
You're right there. Next ball in from Sophie Eccleston. And that will again yield a run if their quick throw comes in. Yep, they're quick enough. And 11 from the over already. 1-5-2 for 6. 49 needed for 7. What do you define as savage? I mean,
Oh, we're not.
Well, if this was
describing
earlier
the game.
on in the game, I would have asked someone listening to do a men's and women's savage 11.
hit away down the ground towards mid-off. Heather Knight fumbles, and so there'll be no chance of a run-out.
So for
and
instance,
the partnership 38, 1-5-3 for 6, 48 needed off 6. Go on.
I think Harmanpreet Kaur would be captain.
I'm putting you, Harman.
She literally hits the stumps over with her bat.
Yeah, I'm
I've
putting
never done
you,
that.
Harman, Eccleston, Kirsty Gordon, Lindsay Smith, Georgia
Wait there,
Elwes.
they're all English.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah,
Let's
they're
be
all
Catherine
angry.
Fitzpatrick.
He didn't play against them.
Savage. There's some savage foreigners as well. You know.
Marazan Cap.
Savage. Ishmael.
Ishmael.
Savage. And then if you go to the boys, you've got Coley.
Yeah. Drops
what
shoulder
else have
every
we-
now and then, doesn't he?
Yeah. Who dropped her shoulder the other day? Kiana Joseph literally dropped her shoulder on Hayley Matthews. Unbelievable.
Her own
scene.
teammate, yeah, she did.
Yeah, that was just like, yeah, mate, no worries.
Catherine, can I just put the case for the prosecution regarding an accusation you just gave to Harmanpreet Kaur? Here is Lauren Bell pushed into the offside, out towards cover.
Well, there's a
And
video,
one-
so...
There is, yes.
Yeah.
One run is taken, 47 needed from 5. You said, well, she literally kicks the stumps over. You did that in the nets.
Exactly. Not a game.
No.
There's a huge difference.
No, don't bring that up, Henry,
I've got
because Catherine was mad with
the
me when that
resilience.
happened.
She was really angry with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not with me, weirdly.
I was in a very bad place.
You
You
weren't-
two were filming me and mocking me.
No, we weren't.
No, not true. Next delivery in from Lauren Bell from the far end of the ground. She bowls, it's clubbed away into the deep. That will be a 1 bounce 4. Sproul moves to 26 off 17, into the side, into the runs, and this is a wonderful finish to the innings for Scotland, who need 43 from 4, but they aren't half giving their fans something to cheer about at the end.
Well, and it's something for England to think about as well, because they could have and should have won this game by 80 runs, you would think. There's a back of the hand slow ball there from Lauren Bell, but Scotland haven't fallen in a heap. They've shown their talent, they've shown that they can bat all the way down.
Here comes Lauren Bell, 4 balls left of the game, and getting in right old tangle is Sproul. Amy Jones will pick up, but not before Kirsty Gordon has scrambled through. And it's 159 for 6 with 3 balls left of the game.
And if it wasn't for that 60-run partnership at the end of 20 balls, this would have been a completely different game.
Well, indeed, yeah. 42 needed off 3, but it was that 61 off 21 that really just, you'd have thought, could easily have taken the wind out of the sails of Scotland as well.
Well, I expected it, just not as big as that. I expected big, but that was next level.
Down the leg side, that'll be wide. Signalled as such by Karen Clastay, 160 for 6.
I would say this chase has gone differently to how I expected. I would have thought they'd be all out 100. I said like 80 or 100, but had they truly been going at 10s from the off, everyone, like in that vein, they would have all been out by now, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. Next delivery from Lauren Bell is pummeled away out towards the deep. That'll be 1.
It's so nice to see 2 batters, the back end of an innings, just batting with so much freedom, though.
Yeah.
They have nothing to lose, do they? And they're just trying to heave every single ball.
When would you see Scotland ever get to 160 against England, even if it is a road? Like, it's still one. This is how far they've come. And it's great to see, because I can see, if everybody's fit and well, I can see some really good challenges in the future between these two.
It's such a shame Lister's not been playing today.
And Slater.
Bell bangs it in short. That's well bowled. That was a delivery of frustration for Lauren Bell, who's bowled all but 1 delivery of her 4 overs and has gone none for 34 thus far.
Well, as you can see today, as opposed to Southampton, Amy's stood back. So a little bit of a learn, a little bit of a change from that game, and I think she'll certainly feel more comfortable with Amy back, and if there was to be a top edge off that bouncer, it would have been taken.
Final ball of the game. Here comes Lauren Bell. Pace taken off it, whipped out to the leg side, scampering through for 1. They'll turn for a second. They'll really push hard for it. Might be a run out, will be a run out. Game over with a wicket. But it's a great partnership to finish it, falling just shy of the 50. And England win by 38 runs. So England victorious. They make it 3 from 3. Scotland with a very, very credible performance, I have to say. They did an awful lot well in this game. A side that would have come into it hoping to cause an upset, but it would have been an upset because Scotland, compared to the riches and the funding of England, aren't in the same stratosphere. But goodness me, they've got some good players. It's been 25 years since these two sides faced each other on British soil. And I think, if anything, tonight has shown the passion of the two sets of fans and players to make sure that that wait is never as long again. England win by 38 runs, 3 from 3. Scotland can leave with their heads held very high indeed. Alex Hartley.
Yeah, they can. It is a brilliant game. And look, when England at the halfway stage scored 200, we knew it would be too many for Scotland. If Scotland could have managed to have kept England to 170, it would have been a completely different game. So credit to Freya Kemp and Danny Gibson at the back end there. It's a huge difference in where England were a year ago, or at the last T20 World Cup. It's something they've really worked on, but probably go into that a little bit more detail afterwards. But just a fantastic game of cricket between the two sides, and there'll be a part of England that are a bit flat after that performance, and that, yes, they've won, and yes, they're still top of the group, and they're looking through to get through to the semi-finals, but I feel like they could have been a little bit more clinical. But then again, Scotland had so much freedom that they could go out and play like that.
Yeah, and 38 runs is a big margin in the end, Catherine.
It is, but you would, I think they can take heart from the fact that they've posted 162 against, top 2, top 3 team in the world, from a team that has literally been nowhere for 25 years. And they're walking them there, so with their heads held high, they're clapping the English and congratulating them, wishing them well in the rest of the tournament. And we love that because there's that respect there too. And like we said just a minute ago, I actually can't wait to see where this sort of, because everybody is quite young on both sides, where these teams might go in some battles later down the line.
So England make it 3 wins from 3, beating a Scotland side who they hadn't faced on British soil in 25 years. It was a special occasion here at Headingley. England winning by 38 runs, hitting a target for Scotland of 201. England's 200 for 5 saw 57 from Sophia Dunkley and a brilliant partnership of 61 off just 21, unbroken between Freya Kemp, who made 39 off 16, and Danny Gibson 30 off 11 to give England a fine total, a second time they passed 200 or reached 200 in the tournament. They did lose Amy Jones, very first ball of the game, but things did pick up from them after that. For Scotland, well, wickets fell at regular intervals despite a quick start. And though England did pick up 7 wickets, it has to be said it wasn't one of the more dominant displays necessarily in terms of wicket taking, but England did their job to make it 3 from 3. Alex Hartley, World Cup winner. Catherine Sciver-Brunt, World Cup winner, Ashes winner as well, is alongside, and we'll be getting some reaction from the player of the match shortly, as well as the 2 captains. But initial thoughts, Alex, at the end of all that?
What game of cricket? Probably one of the better ones that we've seen so far in this tournament. I love the way that Scotland have pushed England. I love the way England went out and played. Freya Kemp, Danny Gibson. Danny Gibson for me is player of the match with her 30 off 11 and then 2 for not very many. But I don't think she's going to get it. No,
I think player of the match is going to be Sophia Dunkley, who's standing down there on the boundary edge, having scored an impressive 57 off 37 balls, and often it tends to be the player that has just scored the most runs that gets given the player of the match. You're shaking your head, you're not quite sure about that, Catherine. I'll find out how you thought the game went shortly, but we will be hearing from Sophia Dunkley in just a moment, as well as the 2 captains. Scotland making their way off the field and applauding their plentiful supporters. A record crowd for a women's match of over 18,000 here at Headingley, and goodness me, they enjoyed it as well, because it was just a very special warm evening that we'd been looking forward to for so long. It really did stand out as a fixture. Leeds, Headingley, Saturday night, England v Scotland. There was so much about this game that felt so tempting, and here is
our
the
player of the match presentation today will take place with Kavita Singh, Senior Vice President of Aramco, awarding Sophia Dunkley the award. Feel free to pass it on for an excellent 57 off 37. Dunks, Sophia, first of all, looked like you were enjoying that Headingley surface out there. What was it like to play?
Yeah, it was great to get out there. Found it quite tricky actually up front, and they thought they bowled pretty well, a little bit slow, but yeah, it was great to get out there and just get the win for England.
Obviously a surprise to be back here with the injury of Nat Sciver. One, how do you prepare yourself when chucked in last minute, and how important to capitalise as well?
Yeah, I think it's tournament cricket. I think all 15 are so important in a World Cup, and obviously just try and stay as ready as you can on the sidelines. And yeah, it's just what I tried to do today, and nice to fit in and contribute. But I think the most important thing is we've got the 2 points and yeah, a bit of momentum going into the next game.
And England scoring good runs here, 2 scores of 200 plus. What are the team doing as a unit to get those scores higher?
Yeah, I think just as a batting group, we're trying to communicate really, really well. We know each other's strengths so well, and it was amazing to see Gibbo and Kempy there whacking it at the end and really getting us to that 200 total, which was great to see. But yeah, we're really gelling well as a unit and just keeping in those comms, which I think is really important.
Brilliant. Sophia, well done today, and thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thoughts there of Sophia Dunkley, player of the match for England, having scored 57 off 37 balls, coming in pretty much to the top of the order when England lost that early wicket. England top of the group, played 3, won 3 with 6 points and a positive net run rate of 2.49. Then West Indies, then New Zealand, and then Scotland is how things are looking. So Catherine Sciver-Brunt with England having made it 3 from 3. Charlotte Edwards often speaks about being ruthless. How ruthless were they tonight?
Yeah, they were confidently ruthless. I think that's the main word, is confidence. Whenever you look at, I hate mentioning Australia, but whenever you look at them on talk about them, that word is probably used a lot, because not only can they just sort of look amongst each other and see confidence everywhere, they can go out and play with confidence and freedom because they have so much to fall back on. When they're in their bowling innings, they have 8 bowlers. If some 1, 2, 3 people having a bad day, no worries. So it's like Pez might rock up and bowl 1 over or no overs because they've got so much they can rely on. So I think with England, that's what I've seen more of as time has gone on in the last sort of, I don't know, 8 months. It's just been that gaining of confidence, and what you're seeing is that, and it's building. And I'm so happy of how it went today, because it's just showing you what place they're in, and even with the fielding and the way they're moving.
But why particularly today?
I think they've obviously got those 2 games behind them. One, they started it so well. I think in tournaments like this, it just gives you an extra 10-20% anyway, because it's so exciting. Like, there's lots of people in the crowd, they give you a lot of energy, and you're just happy to turn up. Sometimes in series that either have nothing on it or don't mean anything, it's hard to get up for it. But there's no problem in that. So it would be weird if they weren't bouncing around and feeling good about themselves, because why on earth would they not feel good right now? Look what you're seeing.
Alex, I want to talk a little bit about the partnership for me that really did represent that perhaps the shift in attitude between it, England side a year ago and now. And that was the 61 runs off 21 balls between Freya Kemp and Danny Gibson. 39 off 16 for Kemp, 30 off 11 for Gibson, and that is a serious weapon for England at the back end of the game.
And it's something that Charlotte Edwards has been really keen on, having those all-rounders in the team, and knowing that Freya Kemp, when she's fit and she's back, she can do that. She can hit the ball 360, but powerfully. She doesn't even look like she's trying to hit the ball, and she can clear the boundaries. Danny Gibson, exactly the same. She's come back from injury. We all know she was the most expensive domestic player in the 100, and today has proven exactly why. She hit the ball into the second tier down the ground. It was a monster of a hit, and I think where England were 18 months ago, when we saw them in that World Cup out in Dubai, there was never any firepower towards the back end of the innings. It was almost like a bit like Scotland were today, if we're being honest, where there were players that could go at a strike rate of 130 if they're lucky, but now it's like England have batters that will go at a strike rate of 200 at the death, and that is the difference. For England to post 2 scores out of 3 of 200 and above is a massive, massive statement in this World Cup. And the impressive thing is, it's been different people at different times stepping up, and today England were on top of the game, but Freya Kemp and Danny Gibson in particular made sure that they put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, and the people in that position would have been like Amy and Charlie Dean.
Yeah.
And they're not
power hitters.
They're very good, and they hit in awkward spots. Amy more bigger strike rate than Charlie, but that's not their strengths. So it's replacing that with that 200 plus strike rate is enormous.
And what does that do in terms
I'm
of...
joined by the
on.
losing
Here's
captain for today,
Bryce.
Catherine Bryce of Scotland. First of all, emotions after that game?
Yeah, pretty high, I think. I think we did a lot of really good things in that game, and just really excited to see the way they tried to chase down that total. And I think everyone that came in just came in with that intent to go out there and try and chase it down. And not that close in the end.
Fielding, something that's worth reflecting on. It feels like you could have got a lot closer if you held the catches. What's the conversation around that at the moment?
Yeah, I think our ground fielding especially was absolutely exceptional in that first game, and that was probably the difference coming into today. We were probably pretty poor, let a lot through our legs that were pretty costly. So I think that's definitely something to reflect on and kind of learn from as well. Probably with the sun coming down, I think it had a little bit of effect on vision. So it's just a learning experience as well.
A lot of positives to take. Some of the runs coming from your top order, your sister today. You must be quite pleased at how you're taking on the big nations.
Yeah, really pleased. I think the way that Darcy and Catherine Fraser have opened up the top have really set the tone for the innings, and I think that's been fantastic to see kind of in all the matches, and I think that's set us up really well to be able to put big totals on the board.
2 more games, obviously New Zealand next. How are your side faring for that?
Yeah, I think really excited for that. I think we've had a couple really close game the other day against the West Indies, and played a lot of really good cricket again today against a really good side. So I think if we go out there with the same sort of intent and just do a few things a little bit better, then we'll be hopefully in a position to get a win on the board.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time today and good luck with the next 2 games.
Cheers, thank you.
All right, time to bring in Charlie Dean, the winning captain for today. First of all, you must be pleased. Big margin of win.
I guess we could have been more clinical, I think, with the ball, but to get up to a score like that, it put us in a fantastic position. I thought Scotland came out swinging. They played really well on a really good pitch, but to get the win that's what we wanted to achieve today.
Let's talk about you. You've stepped into this captaincy role a few times now. How are you finding the challenge?
Yeah, I enjoyed it today, actually. I think having that bigger total to try and defend. The girls were really good. I wanted to bowl a bit better today, if I'm honest. But I guess captaining and focusing on my own bowling when I get to do that is a skill, and being able to switch on and off when I need to. It went well today.
Big scores are coming, 2 scores of over 200. What's the conversation between you, Charlotte Edwards, and the leadership to get those big totals?
Yeah, I think it's massive for our batters to get up to those totals. And we know that when we chase as well, scores are getting bigger and bigger. So learning how to chase higher scores and also set them, it was brilliant. It was a brilliant pitch here at Headingley. So to get up to that total and for the girls to do a lot of work at the back end as well was really pleasing.
2 potentially tougher games coming up with New Zealand and West Indies higher ranked teams. Your team are going to have to be sharp to make sure that you get through cleanly to the final stages.
Yeah, definitely. Tournament cricket is about winning the games in front of you, and that's what we need to do. So it's brilliant to get 3 wins, we take every game as it comes, and it's really important for us to go well at Lords against the West Indies.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time and congratulations for today.
Thanks, Ed.
Ebony Raven for Brent with the 2 captains down there on the boundary edge. So we were discussing the firepower of England's lower to middle order. From a bowler's point of view, you two would know about when you've got players, say in your careers, if you know that Ash Gardner and Annabelle Sutherland are coming in, it changes the mentality throughout the whole innings, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And when they do walk on you, the fear is where you take wickets and you're like, yes, but then you look who walks on, you're like, oh. And then you take another wicket, you're like, yes, and then you're like, oh. And they just keep coming. Yeah. They just keep literally coming, and it's all that you think, I've literally got to get 10. We've got to get 10
and
to feel comfortable.
are England getting towards that?
Absolutely, still got to come in.
We've got 6 hitters left.
Sophie Eccleston, quite famously over the last 10 years of her career, has been one of the only people in the world that can hit a first ball for 6.
Yeah, 150 strike rate minimum, sort of coming in 200 maybe. Yeah. I don't have an issue, and if we're going to keep playing on surfaces like that, you don't need more than 6 wickets in a game. If you lose 6 wickets in 20 overs, something's gone really wrong, I think, on these surfaces.
And do you think that teams are now going to be looking at England with fear?
Absolutely.
I don't think they'll be petrified, but they'll certainly be taking note, won't they?
They'll be going, they're playing well at home. They've never lost a home World Cup. Yes, that's pressure on England, but actually that pressure right now, yes, we've had an easier run into this World Cup, and yes, things have gone our way, but right now it's looking like England are in a really strong place moving forward to the back end of this World Cup.
Yeah, it's an interesting position, isn't it? And certainly they've done all that's been asked of them so far. There have been wobbles along the way, but you've said time and again, Catherine, actually you don't mind that.
No, it's what you need in tournament cricket like this. We've seen a few times you've gone into finals and a team can find themselves because it's what it can do to you, like nerves-wise. You can end up 7-8 down, and suddenly you've got your numbers 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They haven't batted all tournament because your team's had an absolute blinder.
Which is what's been good about England, isn't it? So yes, they got 220 or 219 for 1 in that first game, and then managed to chase Ireland's score down in second. But without that top order getting runs today, they've managed to
Was Beth Mooney retired hurt?
Stiff back.
Because sometimes I feel like they can just retire you and get another one in just for some exposure. Why not?
The experience of the match itself, we've been looking forward to it for a long time because England against Scotland is a very rare occasion. I mentioned many times tonight, 25 years since a match at Reading when Scotland made 24 off 21 overs. It's a different world nowadays, but crowd of almost 11,500 in a record at Headingley for a women's fixture. And presumably, the point made on social media by Hypercourse, it's probably the highest attended England against Scotland cricket match for men or women in the UK. I mean, it happens so rarely, and so it's it's a real indication of what could be the case in the future. And it was a brilliant occasion, I thought.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I think to have so many people here, so many people engaged in the game, I want to stop talking about the crowds because I want it to become the norm. And I think for England games in particular, it has become the norm that you get 10,000 people in. And, we've seen it throughout the 100 and how that's changed women's cricket. And a brilliant occasion. And look, Scotland will hold their heads high after today. They were gutted after the West Indies game, and rightly so, a game they should have won. But at the halfway stage today, Scotland were never going to win, but they went out and they put on a pretty good show.
And that was a very powerful moment when Flower of Scotland was being sung, wasn't it? And I know you like a sing-song.
I do. I have Scottish blood flowing through me. Quite a lot actually, and I absolutely love that song. I support the men's rugby team, women's obviously. Sarah Bonner, shout out.
There you go.
But yeah, I get emotional about all the anthems, and that one in particular is just one of the sweet. The West Indies, it does cheer me up a lot. Ours is very boring, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's very powerful and short and sweet, but there's nothing quite like Flower of Scotland. And when the a cappella bit came on, I just thought.
And you can see what it meant to those players as well.
Yeah, meant the world, didn't it? And I love that. I love. It sounds quite dark, but I love it when people get emotional singing the national anthem, because it means so much playing cricket for your country or playing any sport for your country. It's what you've dreamed of, and a lot of those Scottish girls will have been like, when we play England, it's going to be the game.
Yeah, and like, who gets to play at Headingley? I think I've played here 3 times. I played for Yorkshire for 22 years, maybe longer, and I got to play here once for Yorkshire, I think. I'm trying to remember whether that was a friendly or not, and once for the Northern Diamonds, when we were the Northern Diamonds before the 100 kicked off, and once for England, I think. So it's so rare, but we love this ground. Everybody does, all cricketers, all the Scottish cricketers. It would be a part of an ambition to play here.
It's everyone wants to play here. It spins,
exactly.
It bounces.
We see this as, we've all grown up watching men's test cricket here.
Yeah, and actually seeing those scores and names on the scoreboard in front of a packed Western Terrace, it feels big. And again, from Hypercourse, I love this. It's the 5th highest match runs aggregate for a women's T20 international played on the island of Great Britain. So that, no
niche.
No, well, no. In terms of total runs scored in women's T20 internationals in a game, so like both sides score loads of runs.
Yeah. But we're going to see that happen more and more because the teams are getting better and better.
This is the point, and he says combined with the record crowd of 11,500, it feels like a landmark evening for women's cricket in the UK.
Yeah.
Let's hope it leads to bigger and better, and I think it has. And loads of Scotland fans making the journey. Loads of England fans engaging alongside it. It should be a derby that you see all the time because it's a brilliant event.
It's hard though, isn't it? They're not a full member nation, so you can only play them in World Cups.
Well, it's a frustrating one, I think.
Sort it out.
Yeah, I don't think it
I don't know, because if the men get full member nation, the girls then can't play domestic cricket here in England, so
we've just sent a crew of people around the moon. We can work that one out.
I do feel, but I think, that's a hard one, because that's what's created a good Scottish team.
Is playing
Fact.
here.
Yeah.
And so, and they can't create that there.
No.
I'm sure we can work it out. Anyway.
I'm not sure.
It's cricket, isn't it? What about these sides' next assignments? It does get a little bit tougher for England now. They've got some stiffer fixtures, but it's going to be, a team full of confidence.
The next one's the tough one, the West Indies, because you never really know what West Indies team are going to turn up. It could be a team that narrowly lose to Scotland, or narrowly beat Scotland, or it could be a team that get 240 on the board and they play you out of the game. You just don't know. I think the Oval will suit England and the way they play, but also it will suit Hayley Matthews, Deandra Dottin and Chanel Henry. They didn't look like the most confident group the other day, West Indies, when they were out in the middle. There was mistakes here and there. But England have got the momentum. Their toughest game before they play New Zealand last.
Yeah, That's the thing when you're playing the Windies, there's always an opportunity around the corner. There's always a loose shot somewhere. So I think they'll be quietly confident about that one, albeit fairly nervous and apprehensive because of what they can do. But I think playing a New Zealand side who can potentially have had the nail in the coffin.
It could be dangerous.
It could be dangerous because they got nothing to lose, and you know what? That game against New Zealand earlier on in the season that they should just not have won, and then Sophie just won it on her own. So, yeah, there's always something in the back of your head, isn't it? It's definitely not. They're not easy games by any means.
Yep. So, next up for England, West Indies at Lords on Wednesday, 6:30 start, so we'll be live on air at 6:15, and then next Saturday from the Oval, again 6:30 start, we'll be on air at 6:15. For Scotland, meanwhile, their next game is the New Zealand match on Tuesday. It's a morning game, that starts at 10:30, we'll be on air just before that. And then they conclude with the Sri Lanka fixture to wrap things up. So that's on Friday at Old Trafford, a 6:30 start there. So that is how things are looking. In terms of the table, Alex, I'm going to just have a little look at where England are in terms of points.
They're the top.
And they are, and they're in a very strong position. And only they and Australia have played 3 and won 3. Pace setters?
Pace setters? What do you
Are
mean?
they the two sides at the moment that look the strongest in the tournament?
It's hard. India have only played 2. They've won 2 as well, haven't they? So they're the 3 strongest teams in this World Cup. South Africa can be a very dangerous side. They always start a bit slowly, and when their back's against the wall, they play very, very good cricket. West Indies, again, they've played 2, won 2. So, I think Australia always look good. Australia or England are the 2 teams that you think should make a World Cup final.
Yeah, I think they're the most consistent, aren't they? Like across the board, the most amount of depth, I think. But those other teams sort of have like match winners, like on their own sort of match winners. So that's the scary part about those. But yeah, those 2 teams are definitely the most consistent.
There's dangerous players everywhere you look, and that's what's exciting. Well, it is what is exciting about this tournament. Yeah, I think
that's what makes for good watching. That's what we've been treated to, I think, in the last couple of weeks. Is a lot of people that are new to women's cricket or whatever, probably not. That's not the first thing that they would go to, would it? It wouldn't be seeing 6-foot people bowling bouncers, potentially bowling above 70, or taking screamers, or hitting the ball 80, 90, 100 metres.
Yeah.
And they've been treated to some of that, so I think that's what's going to encourage people to keep coming back.